know, I gotta be honest. I'm really getting annoyed with the podcast.
What's wrong with the podcast? Is it me? I can change.
You can change. You think you can change? Well, it's not you. You're not the issue. It's the fact that we sit here for like an hour and a half, 2 hours at a time, and we just spill our guts. You know, it was fun when we started, but it sounds like shit. It just when we're doing the editing and stuff, like it doesn't sound good. We know it doesn't sound good. We can't do shit about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I just wish we could just like snap my fingers and just make it better. Like,
Shit, we sound better now. We sound professional almost.
I think it worked.
Son of a bitch.
Welcome to the Gibberfish Podcast.
Well, we may have opened with a very shitty bit, but you know, we're here to talk gibberfish, aren't we, Dom?
Yeah, we are here to talk Gibberfish. Here with a new setup. It's very professional looking. I kind of feel like I should be. Like I'm on radio again, harkening back to the days of my early 20s when I did radio, community radio.
Yeah.
I feel like we should be doing some kind of Howard Stern-like bits. Just here on the show today, we're going to have a live woman. She's going to give birth live on the show, but first we're going to talk to a bald man. Hi, Colin.
Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing that vagina being torn open by a new baby. That'll be fun, but I mean, yeah, we got to really sort out these Jews, you know, Howard Stern style.
Yeah, bring on the queefer.
Bring on the queefer. Ew.
You don't want to be in the room. That's all Howard Stern was back in the original days. It was just shock. Then network executives basically said, you can't do shit like that anymore. And he went, who says I can't? Oh, the people that pay me say I can't. I'm going to rein it in.
I'll rein it in. And then, who did he move to? Because I'd never really got into Howard Stern, but everyone...
I think he's terrible.
Really?
Yeah, I can't stand him.
Everyone knows him as this, like, cultural kind of, like, icon benchmark of, like, what you can do and what you can't do on radio and stuff like that.
He's been called the OG shock jock.
Oh, okay.
The king of shock jock radio, which is... He's going to play some good music. He's going to do some good interviews, but he's going to be out there. He's going to be that guy that's not afraid to stick the finger up.
I mean, there's definitely going to be value to that, especially, I mean, when he started how far back? I mean, he was like 80s.
Yeah,
something like 70s, 80s. Just when you needed somebody to be on the radio being like, you know what, fuck you.
Yeah.
I was wanting to do this upgrade for a while, and I'm really glad that we pulled it off with, I mean, the Blue Yeti was very, very accommodating. It's a very good beginner microphone.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that we're going to get any better than we were before.
We're just going to sound better.
Yeah, it'll be clear and nice, crisp and clear. I'm really hoping that we've fucked it up somehow. It's like, we're going to sound amazing. We're going to sound so crisp and clean. And somebody's like, dude, there was a hissing static that is just burning my ears.
Yeah, Dom's watch can be heard audibly in every quiet moment.
It's not a real... It's just unreal that we sit down and then just the first thing that's like, we'll take 10 seconds, just clear the audio, and we can get like a nice noise reduction filter that we can use later on when it comes to editing. And then all you can hear is just tick, tick, tick. And it's just so audible, and it's because it's the only noise in the room. Everything else is either powered down or just not working.
I need to invest in a digital watch that's just for podcasting.
Just right on the strap, podcast watch.
Just podcast watch. I'll get an iWatch and just write on the band podcast watch.
Do you have a spare grand?
No.
I've been meaning to talk about this. I don't know if we've actually covered it for the last couple of weeks, but the first episode we were going to talk just with the return. And then the night after we finished recording, it was the Apple reveal for their new phone line. It's the XS
or something.
Yeah. An XR, and it was the new line of Apple phones that would be out there for the next for the next year until they release a new one that has to be bought for $1,000 each. Do you remember when they announced the X? They were like, "This is the anniversary phone."
Yeah, the iPhone X. I think that was announced last year because I know a few people that actually went out and bought the fucking phone.
Yeah,
I thought that's $1,000 worth of phone. Fair enough, if you get it on a contract, you can spread out the costs. You're maybe only paying 50 to 60 quid a month for a phone, but it's still overall £100 or £1,000 to buy this phone outright. It's fucking ridiculous. And
the tech journalists at the time were saying we are expecting this to be a one-off. This will be the only $1,000 phone for a while. Technology comes down in price. It's just the laws of nature almost, or the laws of digital nature, I guess.
And Murphy's Law?
I want to say Moore's. Murphy's Law or Moore's Law, I can't remember.
I know one of them basically means that each year technology is going to get smaller and more impressive.
It either doubles in speed, halves in size, or halves in price or something like that, like the cost to manufacture.
And I know the other one is technology that's brought out will be obsolete within a month of its release because they've just innovated that far.
That's fucking harsh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I mean, you've built a PC, you know exactly what that means. You buy
Yeah.
a shiny new graphics card and they bring out the shiny new graphics card with all the bollocks too.
Well, the interesting thing I'll get onto like Nvidia's RTX thing. It's their new like big selling point is this extra feature that's to do with the rendering of the graphics. But with the Apple, they've got the great like cult following. That means that when they put out a $1,000 phone, nobody questioned anything. They just said, "Go for it. It's an Apple phone. Of course, we'll buy it for $1,000."
Bought it.
And now this time, when it comes into the new $1,000 phone, it turns out that's the $1,099 for a 64 gig hard drive on that phone. That is not a lot of space for a camera that I'm pretty sure films in 4K
Yeah.
at about 60 frames a second, probably.
I think for 4K at 60 frames per second on my phone, a 5-minute recording takes about 4 to 5 gigabytes.
It's a shit ton of data to be recording, and
that's for 5 minutes. So if you're recording, just say, a concert, and you want to get a few decent songs in there, talking maybe 20 minutes of footage,
yeah,
that's basically half of that gone.
yeah, that's half your phone gone. And the thing that bugs me with it being Apple, because obviously with Apple there's like a separate set of issues there, but what is really bugging me with them is that they don't do micro SD cards. Your phone can take one, right?
Yeah, my old phone could take 2, but that thing was a Sherman tank with a BlackBerry label stuck on it.
But that's the thing is mine. I can fit 124 gig card in there if I wanted to, and I have 124 gig hard drive on the actual phone itself, or is it 64? Can't remember. It doesn't really matter. But I can upgrade a lot of storage space. If you want to throw down that, or if you want to get that storage space on an Apple, it's another £200.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I look at that and I think Apple have it so good. I cannot believe it's still going that way.
Yeah,
I think
they don't have it that good though, because the people still complain about the products. Have you heard the latest argument against the iPhone XS and the iPhone XR?
Other than the price?
Other than the price, a lot of female customers are complaining that this phone is anti-feminist because the phone is too big for female hands.
I was really thinking with there was a thing with the last one where it was tagging their boobs. There was you can search for photos by like keywords, and it will know what you're looking at.
Is that some kind of weird face detection thing?
Yep. It was legitimately, it was able to identify what part of the photo was boobs. And it was, if you said, "Hey, Siri, show me all the photos with boobs in them in my phone," and it would just give you the list of like all
Your
this,
phone would then explode.
all the selfies with cleavage that's got, like, they keep coming up. It's hilarious. It was about too big for female hands. I mean, I'm actually getting a lot of shit right now for my hands because my hands are kind of big, and I work in a microbiology lab, which requires a lot of dainty work. So it's a lot of like
very delicate work.
Me holding a straw that's like thinner than, it's like a cocktail straw, stuff about that size, and it's like streaking stuff out, and it's just with massive, properly sized hands.
Yeah.
I've now, that's my comeback is they're like, "You've got big hands." I'm like, "No, I have normal sized hands. Where are the normal sized gloves, please? I don't want any of these medium and smalls." Although we do have the fun point where it's like, "Oh, I'll put on a pair of gloves. I can't find any larges. I'll give a medium a go," and my hand just explodes out the plastic of the glove. It's brilliant. But yeah, I just is there any? I mean, the phones keep getting bigger. I mean, this is a big phone, and it's an Android phone. But is there, like, it's a valid complaint, or is it just people with very small hands saying your niche product is not niche enough?
I never really read too far into it because it kind of annoyed me by the tagline alone. But
yeah,
I probably should have read further into it because it could be a potential argument against having chunkier phones and be more adaptable with phone sizes and what have you. But it does seem like a bit of a valid complaint because from the basic sort of premise of the article, this is taken from quite a few sort of sources. People are saying iPhone XS is a good phone, it's a bit cheaper, or it's more value for money because you're getting more features with it. And then the counter argument to that was, but it's too big.
I think there's a lack of understanding. Do you remember the exploding Samsung Galaxies Note 8s or whatever it was?
Note 7s, I think.
I think it was 8s, but the ones that were banned from commercial flights because they were at risk of exploding in a pressurized container.
Yeah.
Those were because the company who manufactured the battery tried to cut corners and make things too small because they wanted to give like a several thousand milliwatt hour battery and tried to cut a few corners, and they put certain pins in certain parts of the structure of the battery too close together, and it would just it would short across parts of the battery, and it would burn a hole in the phone, which would then catch fire, which would then set fire to the rug that you dropped it on screaming because your phone just caught fire.
It sounds like the original problem that they had with the very first run at Xbox 360s.
Oh, yeah.
When the hard drive and all the fans would heat up to a certain degree and just melt through the disc tray. And the Xbox would have no choice at that point other than, fuck it, sorry, I'm not working anymore. You need to get a new one. You've bricked this console.
Yeah, there was a lot of those. I'm really glad with the Xbox One. I bought one not long after launch. I wasn't that far behind the main launch day, and that's still the original one.
Yeah,
I'm
still on the original.
You could not do that with the Xbox 360, and I think that was a major concern that they had to address first thing first, was the cooling and venting situation.
I think I went through 3 Xbox 360s. I had the original, just arcade 360, the one that had the tiny hard drive.
It's like the 4 gig hard drive or something like that.
I think the biggest size you can get it in is 12, and it came with a memory card as well.
Oh yeah, they had memory cards.
And I never used the memory card because I just thought, this is a fossil of the past.
This does
is
not
what we
belong
used to
here.
use.
Goodbye.
This
I said,
is what-
good day, sir.
I said to you, good day, sir. This is what brothers all over the country, all over the world, used to fight over if they had multiple PlayStations in the house. Give me the memory card. I want to fucking play Tony Hawk. But yeah, went through 3 Xbox 360s, the original arcade. I went through an Elite, then I got a second Elite when they upgraded that. Because there was the black Xbox, which they called the Elite, then they upgraded that properly to like the Super Elite or something.
Yeah, I remember that because it was all to do with it was venting and cooling solutions and the onboard hard drive.
Yeah.
That was the main one, was because if you had the arcade, the white version, you would have to transfer your hard drive from there to the built-in hard drive that you could remove if you were feeling ballsy.
Yeah.
You could remove, but it was built into hardwired like a PC into the majority of the actual console. And I remember having to do that for my brother, and I had no fucking clue what it was doing. It was like, hey, I've got the kit to transfer stuff. Can you set it up for me? I'm like, yeah, sure, buddy.
Yeah, I'll give that a go, pal.
Yeah, let me have a quick read of the manual, please. And I'm looking at this thing going like, this is wizardry. I cannot do this. What the fuck?
Yeah, what does this mean, man?
Attached to the and it's simple. It's, you look at it now, and it is literally just you plugged in the connector for the hard drive at the top to a box, and then they ran the cable along there to the hard drive or the USB input for the thing. The only thing there was that it was a USB 1. It was not a USB I think it might be a USB 2 at best, but it was not like a high speed USB that we have now. You would just have to let it run for a couple hours and you just walk away. You can't do shit, and you just hope it didn't break when you
just
were
need
doing
to leave it. But yeah, I'm still on the original Xbox One, and this thing's a goddamn tank. I've had it for longer than my PlayStation 4. I tell a lie. I've had it for the same amount of time as my PS4.
Yeah.
The PS4 sounds like it's about to die.
Yeah, those things start to sound like they're going to take off, don't they?
I've cleaned this thing 3 times. I've been told by a couple of people that work with computers, a couple of people that have done sort of console maintenance and stuff themselves, and they said, right, what it could be is that the sensors, temperature sensors on your PS4 have gone completely, so they can't discern between running hot and running normal or running cool. So they're just spinning the fans on all the time. In that case, just get a new PlayStation.
Right.
But what it might be is it might just need cleaned because if your room's dusty. So, but I'm starting to think that there's just been something that through general use of the PlayStation is just conked out. So I need to get a new one.
Well, it's a lifetime issue for the PS4 because my brother has one as well, and it sits on his desk, and he'll turn it on and off for a couple of days. It depends which friend group he's playing with. If he's playing with us, it's Xbox. If he's got his mates, he's on the PS4 a lot.
Yeah.
And honestly, he plugs it in, and I'm like, I duck. Just on impulse, it's like, oh shit, here comes a fucking Messerschmitt, and just
You
duck
think
into
it's a
this.
drone or something flying at you?
Oh, it's fucking horrifying when somebody turns on an old PlayStation. It's like, oh god, is it going to make it? Are we going to make it in this?
Am I going to live through this?
I actually wanted to mention about the RTX that was Nvidia's new flagship product. It's like I think their graphics card does, and it's to do with how they render the graphics. And it was explained very roughly in a Linus Tech Tips video, but he decided to go like halfway through the video and then say, and that's as much as I can talk about the product because there's an issue we're going to have to address. And he, total change of tone, like he walks off camera, he sits down, and he goes, right, we need to have a chat in video. Here's what's going wrong. You guys need to actually support your release of this thing because we got this graphics card on Friday. The video for it came out on Tuesday. And this is a company that does, if you've seen a Linus Tech Tips video, they do a lot of benchmarking. So they do a lot of testing of like, if we run Rise of the Tomb Raider for half an hour, what's the frame count? What's the graphics that we can output? What's the max resolution? What causes frame rates to dip and stuff? And they'll run like 30 benchmarks for each card that they get, based on data that they have for other graphics cards as well. And the only thing is that the graphics card itself on raw power, the new ones that are coming out, are far more powerful. They keep higher frame rates, they keep things looking a lot better, they reach 4K a lot easier. The only thing is this new special feature, RTX, with the new rendering style, isn't supported by anyone. There is no way you can get your hands on a game that supports RTX graphics. And this seems to be almost be intentional, because it's not ready, in Linus's words. He says that these new graphics cards that are coming out, they're great, they're mechanically amazing, but their special features aren't supported because they didn't develop it well, and it's not being pushed properly because nobody's ready for it. You have to redesign your game, redesign the way your graphics are presented in the game for this RTX feature to work. And they just haven't let people do that. And now that it's come to review time, they've had to like delay the shipments and stuff. So it's like, wow, you're launching a flagship product here, like a game changer for your competition. Like nobody can stand up to this thing. Yeah. And Nvidia has the market share of graphics cards. There's nobody that's really on par with them. There's stuff that's coming out, but you're pretty much on Team Green if you're playing games, because most Nvidia graphics cards have a support package for like games, so you can optimize it and they know what looks best because they work with the developers. But with this one, they're like, oh shit, we need to rush this out the door now. Yeah,
sounds like what happened with obviously 4K is the new sort of visual standard. Yeah, visual standard. People are loving it. Playing your games in 4K is fucking stunning. My older cousin posted some footage of him playing Gears of War 4 in 4K. Holy shit, that game looks stunning. Yeah. He just ran through a whole bunch of games like Killer Instinct, Street Fighter Anniversary Collection. Even though obviously Street Fighter Anniversary Collection is all 2D, it still looks fucking stunning in 4K. Yeah. The problem I have with 4K is that you can't get true 4K through places like through suppliers like Virgin Media and Sky, because they can't basically transmit it. They need to cut the footage in half and basically send it over that way. So it's going to look higher spec than say your 1080p footage, but it's not going to be true 4K because they just don't have the sort of bandwidth almost to transmit it properly.
It takes a lot of effort, and that's what's interesting for Tokyo 2020. Japan's going to broadcast the Olympics in 8K.
8K. That's just going to melt people's eyeballs.
We are now 15 months away.
Roughly, yeah.
15 months away from 2020, and then the Summer Games will also be another 6 months. So we are now 21 months away from seeing 8K footage. I don't think I know anyone who has... 4K televisions are pretty relevant in the UK. They're available at reasonable prices.
Yeah, fairly...
I'm not going to be like, everyone's got one, because then somebody go, I don't make enough money to own one.
I'll say they're uncommon in households, but there's a few of them dotted about.
And normally, a lot of people would say, I'm waiting to see like when like my grandparents have one. I can't do that. My grandparents are weirdly tech savvy. They're weirdly like on the ball. They're like, I know why this is better. I'll just buy it. They're on that retirement money where they're just like, I don't give a shit anymore. Fuck it.
Yeah, my the first people in my family to get a 4K television were my auntie and uncle. My auntie runs her own textile business, and my uncle works in offshore oil rigs. So they got stacks. Yeah. So he randomly, my Uncle Brian randomly phoned me and went, what's a good TV to get? And I went, 4K, you can't go wrong with 4K. The only problem is it's a couple of grand. And he went, cool. We went round to their house for a kind of family get together, and he went, oh, there's that TV that you told me to get. I went, how much was it? He went, it was only $2.5 grand.
Shit.
And It was the all singing, all dancing Sony Vaio or Brava or whatever the fuck it
Oh,
is.
when the OLED ones.
One of the OLED ones that fucking curves, it looks like a cinema screen, and he got the sound bar and everything. I was just like, this is just pure pornography of vision.
Yeah, I just want to sit down. Can we just take a minute? Like, yeah, family's important, but
Yeah.
4K OLED with a sound bar and
I'm pretty sure I bought Avengers Age of Ultron on Blu-ray, and even though it's not Blu-ray, even though it was Blu-ray, not 4K, even watching that through their through the PlayStation that they had set up on the 4K, it was tasty.
Yeah.
It was tasty.
Plus, a lot of 4K televisions now just have like a built-in, like, it kind of glosses up.
Yeah,
if
like
you're just
upscaling
putting
feature.
in, yeah. So just because they're so big, I mean, I think that might be the point of doing the 8K broadcast for 2020. Is that Olympics is kind of like a community event. It does bring out people to watch it together in pubs with like big screen. We watched stuff for the World Cup on a projector at one point.
Yeah.
If you have that broadcasting in 8K, I think that's what it's for. So you can blow up that footage to like massive screens.
Yeah.
I don't think it's for like the home or the home watcher, but I think it's for like the community experience of people who are going out and getting this like out in a pub, and let's just have it broadcast all over the wall.
I wonder if they're going to debut it next year at the Rugby World Cup, because that's in Japan next year.
That's worth a shot, yeah.
So I think and that's going to be, because I know a fair few people that have saved up to go to the Rugby World Cup, and fair enough, all the best to them, but I don't have a spare $3,000
Yeah.
to go over to get the flights, get my hotel, get tickets and stuff. So I'm probably going to watch it in Edinburgh, at one of the pubs through in Edinburgh, and that's going to be probably through a projector put up on a massive wall or something. So I can imagine 8K projections watching, hopefully, Scotland do very, very well at the Rugby World Cup.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
We got to the quarterfinals.
All right.
Was it quarterfinals? No, semi-finals. That's just under finals. Basically, we got to the second last match. If we beat Australia, we would have played the All Blacks for the win.
All right.
But what the fuck's his name? Craig Joubert.
Right.
Very infamous for dicking over the Scottish rugby team. There was a horrendous decision that he made that pretty sure still haunts him to this day.
Oh, the ref.
Yeah, he had to get escorted off the pitch.
Oh.
Because our captain at the time, Greg Laidlaw, looked like he was going to fucking kill him.
Yeah.
Understandably so. I can't remember the decision, but it still haunts Scottish rugby fans to this day.
But it's, yeah.
And he is now no longer allowed to coach, ref Scottish rugby games, because I think it was Vern Cotter, who was the coach at the time, said as long as that fucker's on the pitch, my team's not going on.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
It's pretty harsh.
Yeah.
Might be the worst reffing since the Serena Williams thing, where she was just losing her shit, and just that guy was just calling against her several times, but she just totally went all the way off on that one and just said, "No, fuck it, I'm just tearing this guy a new one."
She went the full John McEnroe, from what I've seen.
She doubled down on John McEnroe. She raised the bar on John McEnroe.
If you looked into the crowd and seen John McEnroe, he's probably got a tear rolling, just going, "Go on, have a go."
I'm proud of you, hen. On yourself.
On yourself, doll. On yourself.
I gotta say, we got these new mics just in time for the most important story of our generation.
Okay.
Someone gave tits to a turtle. Bowsette. Have you been aware of this situation?
I have been, because last weekend I went to Comic-con.
All right. How was it? I
really
wanted
good.
to go. I didn't go.
It was really, really good. I got to meet some really cool people. I got to see some really cool panels as well, which is a new thing that they're bringing forward into the new sort of Comic-Con setup.
Yeah.
The only problem is they've shrunk the size, the hall space that they have. It used to be you had main hall, sort of main hall and trade hall. Main hall is when you got all your main stands from like manga entertainment, sort of other names shops.
CEX has got one normally, yeah.
CEX have got a huge one. They're kind of centerpiece. Then there's the trade hall, which is people that have paid to set up stands. So they've come to sell things that they've collected.
Artist corners and stuff like that.
Artist alley, trade stalls, that kind of thing. And what they used to have is they had the atrium in the SEC, the Glasgow Events Campus through in Glasgow. And they used to have the atrium there, and that would be where all the panels were. But instead, they took the atrium away and they just set up a stage in the trade hall, cut down a lot of space for sort of traders and things.
Yeah.
But it kind of worked out, because that means they just had less overpriced food vans and a couple of less shitty anime and manga stalls, which I don't mind, because I don't mind these sort of manga stalls because they actually sell good quality manga stuff, but you get some of the shittier anime stalls that just sell whatever unlicensed crap they can and pass it off as Japanese exclusive toys that haven't came to the West yet.
Oh, like really dodgy stuff that you're
Yeah.
like, nah, I'm not
It's like,
100%
why-
on this one.
It's like, why is there a purple Piccolo? It's his new form from the Dragon Ball movie that you just haven't seen yet. Like, yeah, okay, pa, okay. I'm not
yeah.
paying 90 quid for this. You go fuck yourself.
I saw this the stuff that was coming out. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, they had Troy Baker there.
Yeah, I met Troy Baker.
Yeah, I was
Troy
like,
Baker
that's
was a really
weird,
cool dude.
weird to meet gaming royalty in Scotland.
Yeah, I made a point to meet 3 people during my visit there. I met Troy Baker, again, really cool dude, hell of a voice on him.
Yeah,
They stayed open till 8 o'clock on Saturday night, so that Troy Baker could do an acoustic set, just like country songs, his own written song. Dude can sing.
yeah.
Like, I don't know if you played The Last of Us, but have you ever seen any of the footage of The Last of Us?
I know my brother played it, and he just loved playing it all the way through. But like,
Yeah.
I never got to see much of it.
Well, there's a point in it where Troy Baker's character Joel is just picking up a guitar, and he's saying to the other character Ellie, he says, "Right, you want me to play the guitar? Fine, I fucking play the guitar." So he starts strumming away on the guitar, and you hear Joel start to sing. That is all Troy Baker,
Yeah,
and he played a bit of that when he was on stage. And he's really cool dude. There was no pretentiousness about him. He was just happy to sit and chat away for hours. Like, obviously, if there wasn't a queue of people behind him, but there was. He's a sort of steward. I was just going, "Mr. Baker, you need to hurry this along." He's like, "I want to talk to the beardy man."
but I want to get the people. I like meeting the people. I saw Vic Mignogna was there.
Vic Mignogna was there. I met that guy. That guy's the coolest son of a bitch.
Yay!
I got him to sign. I bought the Broly movies on Blu-ray,
Yeah,
and I got him to sign that.
nice.
Which I just thought, there's no way I could logically live with myself if I met Broly himself and didn't get him to sign something Dragon Ball related.
Yeah,
But the cool thing about the Blu-ray, because you know they've released all the Dragon Ball Z movies on these really, really cool looking Blu-rays.
yeah. I've seen them. They're all like bundled together.
Yeah, and they're all 20 quid, and you get either 2 or 3 movies on each disc.
Yeah.
Great. And on the inside of the Broly box set, there's a spread of Broly's like screaming. I thought, right, he needs to sign that, so I've got that. And I thought, I'm going to swing for the fences. I need to ask him, are you reprising your role as Broly for the Dragon Ball Super movie? And he went, I can't really tell you, but how could I pass it up? So the good thing is Vic Mignogna is going to be coming back as Broly for Dragon Ball Super Broly.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to this.
And he literally seen the smile on my face. And he went, dude, I didn't say anything. He went, you said enough.
Yeah, you said enough. You know what you
And,
did.
He was really cool. I could have sat and spoke to him for hours. Again, another really, really sharp dressing guy.
Yeah.
Like, he just very stylish looking dude.
Yeah, he does a lot of his own I guess it's maybe his own social media stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of the stuff like the photos he takes at cons and stuff, you're like, it's a sharp dressed man.
Yeah.
This is easy top right there. This is
Yeah.
easy top. And he seems like a very nice guy. I'm really glad that he's nice because he plays a
Yeah.
lot of really
Angry characters.
a lot of angry characters, but a lot of like when he gets the time to like settle down and play a very sincere, heartfelt role. He's
Yeah.
very good at it. And you're like, oh, it's good. It's a genuine appearance. And it's not just him being like, yeah, whatever, kid.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
that's
he's-
always the worry is that somebody comes up in a con and he's just like, oh man, I can't wait to see him. He's my childhood hero. And dick. Absolute
Yeah,
dick.
That's kind of what happened to me when I met Johnny Young Bosch last year.
Right?
He seemed so disinterested in the whole thing. He was just kind of, oh cool, you brought another copy of Akira for me to sign. Oh, it's your favourite fucking movie. You're the first person I've heard that from today. And I'm just sitting thinking, but Akira is my favourite movie of all time. And
Yeah.
you were Zero in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I'm going to murder every Zero that I see in that game with extreme prejudice now because you're a dick.
Yeah, I
was so disappointed by Johnny and Bosch. I still got him to sign my Blu-ray limited edition of Akira because, well, who wouldn't? But
Yeah.
just, you seem a bit more interested. If people are paying all this money to come see it, at least you can do it. It's just even fake enthusiasm for it.
Yeah, and the thing with a con is that it can get long. If you
Yeah.
ever follow these guys on social media, there's the few that will be honest enough. If they're running the vlog, they will eventually say, or hopefully they should say and admit to people at a point, I am tired. And it's
Yeah.
something that needs to be addressed at a certain point. Is that a con can burn you out if you're
Yeah,
there
definitely.
meeting people, shaking hands, like people, even just like the shaking hands thing.
Mm.
When somebody says like, "Oh, like remember to keep washing your hands." Imagine how much bacteria you come into contact with. As a microbiologist, it freaks the fuck out of me
Yeah.
that the amount of bacteria you can come across just shaking the hands of 1,000 people.
Yeah.
You will find some nasty shit on
Yeah.
your hands if you don't keep washing them. And if you, as a goer of that con, if you hand sanitizer, just like
Yeah.
alcohol-based hand sanitizer, just randomly throughout the day, you will save yourself like the con flu. Everyone's
the
like,
con
"Oh,
crud.
I got con flu" or something like that, and you're like, Yeah, it's because
That's
you're
why.
exposed to thousands of people, shaking thousands of hands, rubbing shoulders with like literally thousands of people. That is how you get bacterial contamination of each other.
Yeah.
Con flu is no fucking joke.
Yeah, conflict. It's something that needs to be addressed. There was actually something that I seen this year that was quite interesting. A friend of mine from down in Glasgow works as a steward for the con,
Yeah.
and she went, if you want to see the life of your voice actor or your con celebrity, come and see this. And she literally just showed me a stack of water bottles, so like Strathmore water bottles, and a huge crate of hand sanitizer, just because they burn through a bottle of this every 2 hours.
Jeez.
Just because there's that many people that are coming to meet and they want to fight off bacteria because they need to go and scream into a microphone for 6 hours for the next JRPG that they're recording.
Yeah.
So yeah, they get a lot of that.
And it's something like your
you
con
need to
for
take
us.
care of yourself.
The con for like us is the con gore is like, oh, it's so great. It's a concentration of all the geeky stuff that I love.
Yeah.
For them, it's just another day at the it's just part of their job. And just because they went to a con on Saturday, Sunday doesn't mean they have to like on Monday, Tuesday. They're not getting that day off.
Yeah, they need to keep working. They need to keep hammering, like pressing the organism to get more work done. Because the voice acting business is fucking harsh.
Yeah.
You could be working. In fact, take John DiMaggio. Voices Bender, Jake the dog from Adventure Time, Marcus Phoenix. He could be working. He worked for 9 or 10 years on Futurama. As soon as that's done, he's out of a job. He's well paid while he's doing that, but as soon as he's finished, he's unemployed again.
Yeah.
He needs to keep working at it, hammering away, trying to get that.
You got to keep that hustle
Get that
going.
next job. Yeah.
But the thing that I was just saying, we got this microphone time to discuss Bowsette.
Yeah.
Weirdest.
I wasn't done talking about Comic-Con.
Oh, you got more Comic-Con?
Yeah, I've got plenty more Comic-Con, but we'll get Bowsette out of the way first because I've got a few things I want to talk about at Comic-Con. A few cool things happened, a few things that pissed me off at Comic-Con, but we'll talk about Bowsette because I don't know what the fuck this thing is.
So
apart from Bowser with varying levels of tits.
Yeah, that is the long and short of Bowsette. Real quick, is that you for some reason there was this thing called the Super Crown that Peach is always wearing.
I know it's an item in New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe Edition that's coming out for the Switch. If you're playing as Toadette,
yeah,
and she gets an item called the Super Crown, she becomes Peachette.
Yeah,
which is basically a little Toadette Princess Peach hybrid. Then the internet just lost its collective shit and thought, I'm going to put that on other characters.
What if we take the crown? If it makes her into Pretty Girl, we put Pretty Girl crown on Bowser. We get Bowsette, and we get some of the weirdest fan art / pornography I've seen in a long time. And then they just kept moving the crown around to different people.
Yeah, let's put it on Waluigi. Let's put it on Wario. Let's put it on Boo, the fucking ghost.
Boo the ghost, actually. It's weird that, like, of the two that are now, like, in the canon of the female characters, Booette and Bowsette seem to be the most popular.
Yeah.
I think because Booette just came out first, and all it is just a little goth girl who just is really shy because
it's sharp teeth.
Yeah.
And a weird tongue thing,
Weird purple tongue that, like, is always out. And you're like, okay, I mean, that's hot, but, like, can we not? Like, this is on my phone. Like, I'm scrolling through Reddit, and all of a sudden it's like the anime community just lost its shit and decided that, a turtle with tits was awesome. What
I want to see is Bowsette and Booette standing together saying, finally, we will deal with the Mario Brothers. Then next panel, just Mario and Luigi going, fuck this, I'm dealing with this shit today. Fuck this, I'm going back home. Mushroom Kingdom, save yourself.
This is too confusing. I'm taking the day off. Goodbye.
Nope. Luigi just drops the weird Poltergust 2000, just goes, fuck this, I'm going home.
Was because the good thing is it's creating a lot of weird shipping, obviously, because it's introducing new characters, and there's a lot of Peach being, like, ignored in favor of Bowsette. It's there's a lot of it. Like, there's always, for every weird piece of fan art,
fiction.
There's always, like, a Peach in the background going, like, hey, he's sticking my guy, hey. You just start, like, crying in the background. It is like,
you used to storm castles and try to find me.
Yeah, it was like the princess is in another castle, and there was
here. Wink.
There was one of, like, it was like Mario running through, like, the castle and stuff, and then, like, Bowser being like, hi, your princess, another castle, but it's Bowsette. So he goes, no, she's right in front of me, and you're like, on the one hand, it's quite nice, they're pitching, or they're giving up, they're burying the hatchet, but on the other hand, ew,
they're burying the hatchet.
They're burying something else.
Yeah.
And that was it was like a really weird week of, like, the subreddit for it's really funny. Our Bowsette, like, it's a lot of pornography. They had a vote. There's a lot of shit on here that is sketchy at best. we're just gonna make. Do you think it's okay for us to just make the entire subreddit not safe for work? And the resounding result was yes, please. The majority of this stuff is not safe to have on my phone or have open at work. Can we please make this just available
you filter
to scroll?
that into the one sort of make it safe for people who are just just casually scrolling at work.
Yeah,
Have you also seen that this has become a huge cosplay thing?
Oh yeah,
Jessica Negri went as one version of Bowsette.
Jessica Negri has nailed it. The first person that I saw do it was K-Bear, which
I have no idea who that
is she's another cosplayer. She's very good. But there's obviously, with it being a created character, there's no official canon.
Yeah.
So there's two.
Is there?
There's two schools of thought, scholarly advice on this one.
Okay.
There is the red hair one, which I think actually might be more authentic because Bowser has red hair.
Bowser had the red mohawk thing.
But the idea being that the peach crown or whatever the fuck it is would take you and make you more like Peach to make it blonde. The
Right.
blonde one is the more commonly drawn one because it's easier for it to be hot.
This is this fucking sub versus dub argument all over again.
Yeah, but it's weirder this time. For some reason, like sub
It's more
versus dub, you
confusing.
can understand, but then this one, it's just like, it make my pee hard anyway. Who cares?
There's so much weird shit about this.
the Bowsette, the Bowsette, and who's the one? What's the big block, the big angry block thing?
Oh,
Because somebody
Thwomp.
made one of those. Somebody made a Thwompet.
Thwompet.
And the Piranha was kind of, there was like, people were just getting a bit desperate now. The Chomp Chain one was really weird. Or Chain Chomp. Which one is it?
Chain Chomp.
Chain
I've
Chomp.
not seen Chain Chomp. I've not seen any of these yet.
The Chain
I
Chomp
feel
one
like I'm just going to
was-
go on Tumblr or something later to try and find myself a new phone background. I'm just going to be bombarded with all this shit.
If you pop on the subreddit for our browser, you're going to learn a lot really fast.
I'm just going to be accosted with information.
Quite impressed by like the little details because it's fans who are just doing this. Who are just like, man, I quite like this idea. And they went for the chain jump one. They put her bikini has like little chain links. I'm like, okay, that's a nice touch. That's a nice.
Okay.
This is an artist appreciating the original and paying homage while also drawing massive titties.
Yeah, we're also drawing huge diddies.
But there's the discussion of the red hair versus blonde hair, and you're like, this doesn't matter. This so does not matter. It's a weird nerd obsession thing, but yeah, it's like it's sub versus dub for perverts, I guess.
Yeah. Because I know Meg Turney, she's wading into the fray. And I'm going to hazard a guess, and she's going to say she's going to do the red hair because it'll be easier for her with red hair.
I'm falling off Meg Turney.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I just, the last couple of times I've seen stuff from her, I'm like, meh. Negri though nailed it. Negri went
I think I've
balls
seen-
to the wall for it.
Yeah, I think I've seen one of hers.
Yeah, that's definitely not safe for work,
Yeah.
but I appreciate there's a lot of them are actually really good. A lot of the blonde Bowsettes that are coming out are like, damn, that's nice. But K-Bear went for the dark skinned red hair because she is dark skinned. She's like part African American or something like that. And she rocked it. Absolutely fucking nailed the red Bowsette. But then you've got the blonde Bowsettes coming out now en masse. It's actually probably pretty close to the ratio of like people doing the red haired Bowsette to the drawings of red haired Bowsette. Like there's a lot more of the blondes. Because obviously it looks a bit skankier, but when it comes to the cosplayers, you're like, wow, what you're going for the blonde, whereas I think you probably get bonus points for red.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, Meg might go for that.
Yeah. I don't think this has an upper limit to it. Thinking about how far logically you could take this, I don't think there is an upper limit. I think people are going to start taking other Nintendo characters, saying what happens if we give Ridley the crown? What happens if we give what other Nintendo? What happens if we give Ganondorf? Ganondorf's going to be the next one.
Are you thinking that
I'll
one?
bet you a crate of whatever poison you choose that Ganondorf is going to be the next one.
The next big one. I've already seen them starting to play around with some of the other characters, and I was looking at, it was a good one for like Mario and Bowser looking at a laptop and being like really freaking out, and then Sonic appears and goes, you guys haven't seen shit. Sonic fan art is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sonic fan art was a lot of Tails eating people.
Actually, I think I actually saw Tails get the crown. Tails got the crown, and I don't think Sonic got it, but there was somebody else from the universe because the Sonic universe just exploded into like 1,000 random shitty characters.
Yeah, it was weird. They had the original Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, and just thought, let's add more characters.
Yeah.
Let's give Sonic a Vegeta character and Shadow, and give him a weird Trunks character and Silver.
But Shadow was okay. Shadow was
shitty. Don't you dare say that.
Shadow was the limit. Like of as far as the story needed to go.
Yeah.
Shadow having the Vegeta-esque character
Yeah.
of Shadow was as far as they needed to go, and then after that it just goes like absolutely off the wall.
Yeah, let's give Shadow a gun and let's have people shout, "You black hedgehog, I'll kill you."
That got dark fast.
Yeah, they went in the game Shadow the Hedgehog, which you can go into any CEX up and down the country or at any part in the country, because I've just found out that CEX is worldwide.
All
There's
right.
CEXs in America, there's CEXs in Spain.
Espanol.
Did not know this, but yeah, if you can go into any of those shops and pick up Shadow the Hedgehog for probably dirt cheap, if not free, because they'll probably just throw a copy at you if you want it.
Yeah.
The soldiers in that game, if they catch Shadow, they say, "You black bastard."
Well, all right then.
Yeah, they'll actually go that far. And it's not a good game at the best of times, but that just makes you think, this is racist. I'm not playing this no more.
Like it was fine to just be a bad game, but you just stepped up to the racist level.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Oh, that's so weird that it would go to
Yeah.
a weird racist level. But yeah, I had to get Bowsette out of the way because it's like the top note on my episode. My
Yeah.
show notes for today were just like, we need to make fun of the turtle with tits.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, but then I remembered the time that we live in and what's currently in the zeitgeist of just gender swapping the shit out of everything.
Everything is porn if you're brave enough.
Yeah. Rule 34 is in full effect.
Rule 63 as well. 63 is gender bending. Rule 34.
I'm not up on the rules.
Oh, there's thousands, and it's brilliant because they keep adding more. And you're
Yeah,
like,
4chan is an infinite wasteland of possibilities.
It's a chaos engine that just spits out weird stuff like
Yeah.
this. I actually want to trace because I don't think it was like a 4chan thing. This is one of the few like pop culture memes that did not start on 4chan at some point. I think it was just an artist generated the concept art, and then just everyone. I'm taking that and I'm running
Yeah,
with it as far as I can.
They're not so much running with it. They're in a full sprint with this thing because they've just started it and thought, fuck it, I'm going to take this as far as it possibly can go.
Some might say too far. Those people are not brave enough.
Yeah.
But you were saying you had something about Comic-con.
Yeah, just going back to Comic-Con, sort of wrap that bit up. The third person I met was Jess Harnell,
Okay.
voice of Wacko Warner from the Animaniacs. Huge part of my childhood. He also voiced, what's the fuck's the character's name from Rick and Morty? Scary Terry.
Oh, right. Okay.
The
Yeah.
guy that keeps calling everyone bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Freddy Krueger
Yeah.
ripoff, which by the way is him calling everyone a bitch, is just him being Freddy Krueger. Go back and rewatch those movies. He uses the
I
phrase
know.
bitch a lot.
Yeah. The one bit that sticks out in my head from the Freddy Krueger movies is when he's possessed a television and he grabs the girl and says, "Welcome to prime time, bitch," and smashes her head into the TV.
Nice.
That's all I remember. Because then it starts going weird after Nightmare on Elm Street 3. That's when
The Dream Warrior was amazing.
I think that is the Dream Warrior.
3 years Dream Warrior.
Then
And
it goes
it's-
Dream Child,
Yeah.
then
So
Dream Master.
Dream Masters, when it's just like, we've went too far.
Yeah, we need to tie this up, then we're going to do something else that just goes completely off the fucking rails.
Yeah. The practical effects in those movies, though, are why it
Fucking-
stands up.
Yeah, so fucking good.
If that had been digitized, that'd been an absolute shit show. I actually watched Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban for a little bit yesterday.
The best one.
That holds up.
Yeah.
Like the digital. Before we left to go watch Insidious the Last Key. I just quite like the
Oh.
Insidious franchise. It's really weird.
Is that is Insidious the series that spawned sort of The Conjuring, The Nun, and
Yes.
Annabelle and shit?
Because
Insidious is the sort of main tree.
Insidious is
These are all sort of branches.
and they are actually. I think they're all tied into the same world.
Oh, right.
I think it is still the same canon, and there's just different. It's different aspects. I think Insidious is ghosts, but there's occasionally spirits and demons get involved, and that's like the red face man, because that's how I remember the Insidious franchise is the red faced guy from the first one,
All right.
because it's a great camera reveal. It's just a camera trick of the camera goes across a character's face, and behind them is the red faced demon. And that's the only that sticks so well in my head because it's so well pulled off that it's not like a jump scare; it's a slow pan reveal. That is the power of these microphones. The fact that they're all like wired up here,
Yeah.
I wouldn't smack the shit out of them.
No, I'm not going.
You could in theory.
I've nudged it a couple of times, but I'm afraid that.
We've just had a small technical issue where I just put my hand into like the mic stand and I didn't see shit on the lines.
Yeah, but there's no major quakes on the.
That's
on the feed.
hilarious. That's amazing. That's we're not using these professional equipments to like make ourselves better. We're just using them to cover up the shit show. But the Insidious franchise, I associate it so much with the red guy that I'm like, wait, is it the one with the red guy? Like, yeah, that one. But the The Last Key put some twists in there that I was like, it explains a little bit of the origin of the first movie.
All right.
And you figure out how that all, like, this all snowballs because it's just 10 years before or whatever. And it starts off with her going back to her childhood house, and it explains a lot of why she was fucked up, and it puts a lot more stuff in there that you're like, oh, this was a lot darker than it ever really needed to be.
Yeah.
But it was a really good movie. But we watched a bit Prisoner of Azkaban before that, and there's a lot of the effects on that really hold up, and I'm like, oh, that's practical.
Oh.
There's the scene at the start where his aunt gets inflated. She starts mouthing off about Harry's mum and dad. But she's like, well, there's something wrong with the blood. You can always tell bad blood will always out, which is part of what goes on in the bigger Harry Potter franchise. And she just starts going on about how it's never really if the dad's bad, the son will be bad. But it's always the woman. If there's a problem with the bitch, there's a problem with the pup, and Harry loses it. And he magically inflates her. And I was watching going, that looks really good. Even like the practical shot of her wearing like a fat suit and floating up in the air looks good. And then when she's floating away and they digitally like put her over the like English gardens at night, you're like, that still looks good.
Yeah.
Way better than it has any right to.
Yeah. Some of the transfer, I remember, because I've not seen any of the Harry Potter films in a while, but I do remember some of the transformation scenes when, what's his name? I want to say Lucius, but it's not Lucius. Lupin.
Professor Lupin.
Professor Lupin. His transformation scene, that's practical effects. That's pretty good.
Yeah, there's a lot of, it's really well. There's a lot of, those are like over a decade old.
Yeah.
And what was the other one we're talking about? We're talking about the fact that the Step Brothers movie is a decade old. That was 2008.
Step Brothers, was that the
Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. I'm going to put my nuts on your drum kit. Not my drum kit! And it was the nastiest like reveal of like, oh, he actually whips out a bollock and rubs it on a drum kit. You're like, well,
nasty. But yeah, Comic-Con.
Comic-Con, yeah.
No, mate, Jess Arnell got him to sign a couple of prints. Just, again, really cool dude. Found out that he's in a band.
Okay.
A rock band. Because voice actors can mimic many types of vocal styles. It turns out that translates really, really well to music. Listen to a couple of his tracks on Spotify, and it's all him doing a fucking great James Hetfield impression, a fucking great Dave Mustaine, lead singer from Boston, doing a sort of more than a film type thing. Fucking really good.
Yeah.
And for being an almost kind of comedy parody band or a cover band,
yeah,
fucking great.
What's the name?
Rock Sugar.
Rock Sugar.
Rock
Okay.
Sugar, yeah.
Give it a go.
But yeah, again, a really, really cool looking dude. If you looked at him, you wouldn't think that he's a voice actor because he looks like a rock singer, an old metal singer. Like proper long hair, glam to fuck, got shit tons of wristbands on, loads of rings, and he's always got a kind of metal cowboy hat on. Like proper Dimebag Darrell. I'm going to kick myself for saying this, but is it Chris Abbott? No, he's the author. Paul Abbott.
Yeah.
The drummer that recently passed away. Looks at him, but just quite a bit thinner without the beard.
Alright.
Long as fuck hair. But yeah, really cool dude. That was kind of it for the signings, because the signings are ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, how much is it for a signature?
For signatures for some of the voice actors, they kind of kept it realistic. It was about £25, and you got a free signature from them, which was pretty good. They have to make it worth their while, so I understand completely. And some of the other voice actors, they had merchandise with them, like the T-shirt that I'm wearing just now, Retro Replay.
That's
Troy Baker,
Troy Baker.
and Nolan North. They were bringing the T-shirts to sell. I didn't have to pay for it though.
Oh, nice.
I'll get to that story in a bit. And they had these on and said, right, what we're going to do is for £50, you're going to get 2 signatures and you're going to get a T-shirt with that.
That's cool. Yeah.
And they were willing to do that. But then if you went over to see some of the Walking Dead guys, they were upwards of £50 just for the signature alone.
The Walking Dead isn't even a good show. I don't even know who watches it anymore.
The main bad guy, or I don't even know if he's the main bad guy, but one of the bad guys in the show, King Ezekiel.
Right.
His actor was there, a guy named Carrie Payton, who's done a lot of voice acting as well.
Right.
So I was thinking about meeting him, maybe get him to sign something from Teen Titans, because he played Cyborg in Teen Titans. But I thought, I'll maybe go and see him. Then I went and seen the prices. It was £75 just for a fucking signature.
Jesus.
And I thought, who the fuck would actually pay that? Then I walked past their line, and Carrie Payton's was doubled back on itself the amount of people that were there. And I just thought, who the fuck is paying 150 quid to get 2 things signed? It's fucking ridiculous.
That's just horrific.
It is fucking horrendous. But yeah, I mean, I did get to meet Carrie Payton, but I didn't pay for it. Because all the voice actors, they were kind of wandering around at one point, just seeing who was at each other's booths, and Jess Arnell was taking ages to get back to his booth, and Carrie Payton just showed up and went, "Hey guys, I'm Jess Arnell, how's it going?" Just like screwing with the crowd. And he was sitting chatting away to the guy, and he said, "Oh, I caught your panel yesterday, it was really funny." He went, "Oh, I'm so glad that you enjoyed it, we weren't sure how that was going to go over." And I went, "No, it was great." Because some of the voice actors that were there, they'd done a panel called Twisted Tunes,
Yeah.
where they get a movie script, and because they were in Scotland, they done Braveheart.
Right.
And what they do is each voice actor will get multiple parts, and within that they can do whatever voice they can for that part. So you'll get Jess Harnell doing William Wallace as Scary Terry.
Right.
You'll get Troy Baker doing Longshanks as Matthew McConaughey.
Okay.
Or the Princess as Jeff Goldblum, which was fucking hysterical. Troy Baker's Jeff Goldblum impression is the funniest fucking thing I've seen this month. This year.
Yeah.
It is spot on. He gets the mannerisms, he's got the voice there, it's fucking great.
That spawned a thing. Like it was something. It was like old Disney voice actors, like from early days, like Mickey Mouse, or something. Did like a script and did it all as like different characters and weird, like slightly not offensive stuff, but like more edgy teenage comedy stuff. And it was just like an old Disney movie, and it became like a viral clip. And now that's just like a standard thing at cons now.
Yeah, it's the guy who runs it is a guy called Jeff Zanini. He runs the Twisted Tunes show, I guess. I think that'd be the right word for it. And he'll tour different cons. He'll take voice actors that are at the cons, and he'll just say, "Right, we're going to run through Star Wars." Is one of the most famous ones. They recorded that at Emerald City Comic-con in 2012.
I think actually that's the original one. It was Disney characters doing Star Wars.
Yeah, and they had Billy West, John DiMaggio, Tara Strong. I want to say. Kevin Michael Richardson was there doing some parts. They had a fuck ton of really, really good voice actors. And they just thought, right, John DiMaggio, you're going to do Darth Vader as Bender from Futurama. Tara Strong, you're going to do, you're going to do Princess Leia, but you're going to do it as Timmy Turner from Fairly Odd Parents. And all the way through it, you get the sense that particularly Billy West was just like, this is fucking dumb, it's never going to take off. Cut to 2014 when he's doing 3 different shows across 3 different cons because he thought, people like this, I'm going to keep fucking doing it.
It works.
Yeah, it works really well. And when you've got, who was on the panel? You had Carrie Payton from Walking Dead. You had Jeremy Shader, who was Finn the Human from Adventure Time.
Okay.
You had Jess Arnell. You had Troy Baker, Nolan North, and a guy called Ross Marquand.
Don't think I've heard of him.
He's on The Walking Dead. He's got his part in The Walking Dead. He was also Red Skull in Avengers Infinity War.
Okay.
Because the guy's an expert impressionist. So he picked up on Hugo Weaving's voice as Red Skull in the original because Hugo Weaving's done. He's not coming back as Red Skull. So he reprised the role, doing a sort of new take on the character, but still kind of taken from the old one.
Yeah.
And he was there just doing impressions. He was firing off a fucking amazing Ewan McGregor impression. He had a fucking fantastic Michael Caine impression. His Al Pacino one had me in fucking stitches.
Yeah.
But this was an hour. They read for about an hour and 10 minutes, and I think they got through 20 minutes of the movie.
Oh yeah.
Just because they were fucking around so much. I said Jeff Goldblum Troy Baker's Jeff Goldblum doing the princess part was the fucking highlight. It was absolutely outstanding. If you can go on YouTube and just type in Twisted Tunes and make your way through the playlist of videos that's on there, you will not be disappointed. It is a fucking laugh.
It's because it works. It's just all you need is a couple people who've got a couple different characters in the. Do you know what I mean? You talk about Kevin Michael Richardson. That guy could probably knock out like half the Star Wars script with funny voices.
Yeah.
But if you have like 4 or 5 of those people and they're all, they're into it and they're all up for it, and maybe they've pre-read it, they've got a couple ideas they want to just throw in there. I think you could, it makes sense that it's a good show that people will line up to see. I kind of want to see more of it though. Like I'm going to now watch Twisted Tunes on YouTube.
Yeah, I definitely say it's worth a watch. Clear, say about 5 to 6 hours because there's some really, really good ones, and there's ones that run for about 3 hours.
All right.
That were split into multiple parts, and the convention halls have just let them run. Like they've set back other panels just to let these guys just keep talking. It works.
Yeah.
It works pretty fucking well.
Curious to know though, you said you got that retro replay shirt.
Yeah,
but you didn't pay for it.
got it for free.
Because
we went to the panel, and it was Troy Baker and Nolan North. They've had this show Retro Replay, and it's been going for I think about a year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just them Troy Baker will introduce the game because he's the gamer at the two. Nolan North doesn't really play many games, despite voicing a fuck ton of characters in games.
Yeah.
Troy
That guy might actually just be too busy to play video games.
Yeah, probably. The guy does a lot. But Troy Baker will introduce a classic video game. Like what they played live when I was there was the original Prince of Persia on NES.
Okay.
And they played that through an emulator so that they could have unlimited lives and shit because they die a lot.
Yeah. Prince of Persia, like early one, was not fucking around.
No, you had 50 minutes to complete the whole game.
Damn.
Because the plot point of that game is the royal vizier / evil magician Jafar, with 2 Fs because they don't want to get sued by Disney, has kidnapped the princess or some crap, and she's going to be killed within 50 minutes. So you have to make your way through the dungeon which you've been locked in, kill all the guards, and get to her within 50 minutes. You're lucky if you can get through 4 levels in 50 minutes because the game's fucking solid. You just need to crit path the whole game and get to the right point.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And then you've got 2 people who don't know what they're doing in front of a live audience.
Yeah. Troy Baker, I think he finished it, but Nolan North is just kind of, I don't know what the fuck to do. And I'm playing this with a keyboard. I'm not playing this with a NES controller. I'm playing this with a full QWERTY fucking keyboard. And it was just fun to watch him shout at people. And one woman kept trying to take his photograph when he was trying to concentrate, and the flash was going off. And he just turned to her and went, I know not went to swear, but fucking stop taking my picture right now. But yeah, they opened up the floor to questions. Troy was doing kind of trivia questions, asking like, "Oh, in this episode, I called Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins this name. What was the name I called him?" And he was giving out free T-shirts based on that. And then Nolan did a bit, and he was saying, "Guys, anybody want to recommend any games?" And we were just kind of passing forward. And I thought, right, they've probably played this already, but I'm going to try it anyway. I said, "How about you play Mega Man 2?" And he went, "Cool." And just lobbed a T-shirt at me.
Nice.
I was like, "Sweet, I don't have to pay 25 quid to get a T-shirt anymore."
Save myself some money.
But they gave me the wrong size, and they went, "Oh, we'll get you a large." And she went, "All right, cool, I'll just go and grab you a large." And I went, "Well, what do I do with the medium then?" And there was a girl sitting in front of me. She just went, "Can I have that?" I went, "Sure, I'm not going to, yeah, it's not going to fit me." Then she proceeded to break into tears because she was a huge Troy Baker fan.
All right.
She'd been trying to get his attention all day, so I thought, I kind of feel good about that, but now she's in hysterics, so I feel kind of shit about that.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's like,
It's a weird one.
I'm glad you're happy, but I'm really weirded out that you're this happy.
Yeah, you're this happy. Tissue?
This is just a T-shirt. Like, you know that this is just a T-shirt, right?
This is not symbolic. You better not be showing up at my door or Troy Baker's door. Just going, "I still have the T-shirt," and squeaking your face across the glasses. I still have it.
Dragging the face across the screen, just hello.
"I found you," just tapping my window with a blunt knife.
You thought I couldn't find you, but I did.
"I made this for you," and it's just a bloody sign saying "thank you."
Oh, no. Oh, no. Bad juju.
Yeah, no, that was the good parts of Comic-Con. The bad parts of Comic-Con for me, and it's always the bad part of Comic-Con every time I go, is that you always get 2 types of people at a convention that really, really piss me off. You get the people who dress up as either Deadpool, they dress up as Joker or Harley Quinn or any other kind of eccentric out there character and think they can just do whatever the fuck they want because they're in character. I literally had a Joker and Harley Quinn stand either side of me because I had a Batman t-shirt on. The Harley Quinn stood on my foot with fucking stilettos on, and the Joker kept grabbing my beard, and at one point they said, "Oh, well, you're boring, I'm going to walk away." And I went, "You better fucking walk away." And they went, "You talking to me?" The Harley Quinn looked visibly fucking terrified because I went from kind of, this is a bit of a joke to, "Get the fuck away from me." And I turned to the Joker and went, "If con security wasn't here, I'd be throwing you across the fucking hall. You do not act like that."
Yeah.
It's just because you're dressed as the Joker doesn't mean you have carte blanche to be a cunt.
Yeah. Remember, I mean, there's the line, cosplay is not consent. Do not fuck around with that stuff.
That goes other ways.
Remember, it's about personal space, privacy, and your comfort at the con.
Yeah.
Going up, if you grab somebody's beard, that's uncomfortable.
Yeah, it wasn't even like kind of like I'm just lightly straggling my beard right now. They were fingers into my beard.
Yeah.
And I'm a very patient person at the most of the time. At the best of times, I don't mind if I'm all for physical contact if I know the person.
Yeah.
Or even if I don't know the person.
Or if it's funny, or if it's like
if it's for a laugh, or I don't know the person and they seem okay, don't mind that. But if you're a dick and you're getting inside my bubble, I might snap.
Don't remember. It's about
people off.
You're there for the con. You're there for
have fun,
entertainment, fun. It's enjoyable. It should be for everyone.
It should be a safe space. And how often is it you get to walk down the street and say, oh, dude, there's someone dressed as my character from Smash Bros. I'm going to get a photo with that guy.
Yeah.
Enjoy it while it's there. Just don't be a dick because you're dressed as Deadpool and you think you can shove a katana up someone's ass.
Yeah. That's, it's the classic gibberpish motto of don't be a dick.
Yeah, just don't be a dick.
Yeah, I don't get these people who'd step into a situation like a con and say, it's time to just ruin stuff.
Yeah. And the second thing that pisses me off, and it's becoming more and more prevalent in the conventions despite many, many objections to it, it's the free hug signs.
Right.
I have no objections to the free hug signs. When people go up to you and go, free hug? And you go, yeah, sure, come here, I'll give you a hug. I like your costume.
It's funny, yeah.
It's fun, and it can be a little kind of heartwarming moment when you just see some guy dressed as... One of the best ones I've seen was a little girl. She was dressed as Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And she was holding up a sign saying free hugs, and a Batman cosplayer who had the fucking costume nailed.
Yeah.
Really good Batman costume. And a Wonder Woman just thought, yeah, come on, it's 8-year-old girl.
Yeah.
We'll give her a hug, that's really cool. It's a miniature Justice League thing. But when you get people your size,
yeah,
who have no concept of personal hygiene, who just come up and don't even ask you, do you want a free hug, and just come up and bear hug you, that's when I almost snap again, because A, you smell horrible.
Personal hygiene is not...
Deodorant at Comic-Con, I'm going to make a stall at Comic-Con just selling tins of Lynx.
Yeah.
Tins of off-brand or Poundland deodorants, and just go, right, you need this, you need perfume. Because people have no fucking concept of personal hygiene. You're in a hot, almost un-air-conditioned hall for 6 to 8 hours a day over the weekend. You're going to sweat. Some people are in latex costumes. You're going to sweat. Just top up the deodorant, top up the aftershave every 2 to 3 hours. Make yourself smell fresh. Take the costume off for a bit and let the air in.
And that is like, personal hygiene's not optional.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like, if you're out in public, personal hygiene, if you're like sitting at home, you're going to just slum it out for a couple of days, fine, no worries. You can go 48 hours or whatever without a shower or a bath. That's not an issue.
Yeah.
You're at a con, you're walking around, we have standards.
Yeah,
but
I know.
if you're at a con, you're walking around Glasgow. I mean, the cons are never actually like anywhere near public transport. There's normally like a half a mile to a mile walk.
Yeah.
Unless you grab the underground or whatever.
Yeah, but it's a bit of a walk, and you're walking in a full. The one that I seen was a full Cloud Strife costume.
Yeah.
From not the jumpsuit sort of dungarees things that he wore in Final Fantasy VII. I'm talking about the full belts, one sleeve cut off Final Fantasy VII Adventure in costume.
Everything's black leather. You're gonna sweat like shit.
With the full sword on her back. It's like you're going to be sweating. I was going to say sweating your tits off, but you're going to be sweating your fucking socks off because you're carrying about this much shit.
Yeah. I mean, personal hygiene is not optional these things. If you are a fan of our show and you are going to cons just like stinking up the room, just think about it.
Yeah, just think about it.
Would you like to meet you like that?
Yeah. If you like to go into a room of other people that are just excited to be there, that are all like-minded people, would you like to be the one guy stinking out the room?
And it's something that gets the nerd community a lot of flack.
Yeah.
And it's like when you say, oh, do you want to come to a con? And someone goes, it's going to smell bad.
Yeah.
And you can't say no to that. You can't be like, I'm going to work over the smell to enjoy the con. Like, that shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm not going to be that dick that's just walking about with, something covering my face like a scarf and just spraying people. Because that's a cunty thing to do.
Yeah, that's as bad as being the free hugs guy who stinks like stinks like cheese.
It's ridiculous. And you also get the people who do the human totem pole free hugs. It's happened to me every fucking year that I've went to Comic-Con. You get people that are on each other's shoulders. They're usually about 2, maybe 3 high, depending on how big they are. You just come up and go, free hugs, and just right, if I hit you, you're going to fall and you're going to hurt your neck, so I cannot do anything in this situation. I just need to accept the free hug and grimace. Yeah. And I am fucking despiser of the lingering hug. When people, I'm a 10-second at most hugger.
That's a long 10 seconds.
That's at most. That's a push.
Yeah.
Right, I'm more of a 3-second. I mean, since we've been in high school, we've always done the kind of bro hug. Handshake, then bump shoulders. That's all we've ever done. I'll do that, no problem. But it's the people that come in and just, bear hug and just lean into you and just start going, no, let's just get into it. Just enjoy the hug. I'm like, okay, getting angry now.
Yeah, that's like
drop the elbow on your head.
That's an emotional support hug. That's like, dude, sorry, your dog just died.
Yeah,
that's that. If we're hugging for 10 seconds, that's what's happened. Like something serious has gone down. That's the only reason. Like the last time I hugged somebody like that, they moved back to Australia. Yeah, that's it. This is as close as I can get to that needing to hug for 10 seconds.
The last time I gave someone that kind of emotional long hug was at their grandparents' funeral.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of like, I'm here for you if you need me, but it's a convention. Get your sweaty ass away from me.
Yeah, it's gotta mean something. It's not, lol, I have a free hug sign. So random.
Yeah, just lol, I'm so unique, even though there's 12 other people around you in the immediate fucking area.
And this thing's that you want to be unique. Would you mind actually trying to be unique?
Yeah, would you trying to be an individual?
I mean, it's not that difficult.
Yeah, it's not that difficult. You just need to not be a dick. Don't
Any
be a
other
dick.
stories from the con?
No, I met some really good people out of the Comic-Con. All the Comic-Cons that I've been to, it still hasn't bet that initial Comic-Con that I went to, just because I met two really, really awesome voice actors. I met DC Douglas, who voiced Wesker for Resident Evil.
That's a good one.
Fucking really good.
It's a big one for you as well.
Yeah, really cool dude. I'm really happy to just sit and chat away. And Courtney Taylor, who voiced Ada Wong in Resident Evil. Again, pretty big for me.
Yeah.
She voiced a whole fucking host of other things, probably a few animes and stuff thrown in there. But yeah, really big thing. And they were both on the free lines, so I didn't have to wait in there. I just literally walked up and said, could you sign this copy of my Resident Evil 5 walkthrough? I was just happy to do it.
Yeah.
And it was quieter back then, because it's getting more and more notoriety the longer it goes on. So I think next year they're probably going to have to expand into 3, maybe 4 halls in the event campus, just because it's getting that big.
I hope they do, because it's nice to have that geeky convention. And I mean, it was the week before. It was RTX London, which was Rooster Teeth's one that they do, and they do one in Austin, they do one in Australia, they do one in London. And there's something about sitting on the outside of those and looking in, like the jealousy you have is just unreal. Like, you're watching it and going, if I could just be there.
Yeah,
and then the
even
fact that
just
there's
for a
one just
day.
down the road is good, because Glasgow's not that far. I mean, yeah, it's a 20 quid train ticket for
it's
two,
like
2 days,
£17
something
or
like that.
yeah. But what most people do, especially if they live out in this kind of area, is they just book a hotel for the weekend.
Yeah.
Hotel's not going to cost you that much. If you get in early enough, you can get the booking sorted fairly quickly. And what they'll do is they'll just hit the convention centre for the weekend and just jump back to the hotel.
I mean, make the most out of it. I mean, you're in Glasgow. I mean, that con's only going to last until 6, 8. You said 8.
Yeah.
It stayed open till 8, but not at 6.
Most of them, usually they close at about 6, maybe 6 o'clock on the Saturday, 5 o'clock on the Sunday.
Yeah, I just say go for it. Enjoy the city.
Make a weekend of it. Yeah.
Make a weekend of it.
Plenty to do. And
Maybe change your costume. It's a bit weird to go,
maybe air that
5
shit out.
guys.
Yeah, bring a change of clothes, because one thing I don't get is people that go on public transport as their character. I get it, fair enough. You maybe not have enough time to change. Maybe you're just so proud of the costume.
Yeah,
but you're a braver man or woman than I.
I'll be fair though.
for
I think it'd
going
be
through
funny.
Glasgow in full Mario costume.
I know. There was one that, like, if I could do it, if I had the balls to do it, I probably would.
Yeah.
Just for shits and giggles, be like, oh, check me out. I'm Gaziel on the train. Yeah, I'm just hanging out as an anime character on the train. Sup? It's gonna be the nerdiest thing ever.
Yeah,
And you know you're gonna end up on a Reddit thread.
Yeah,
like,
probably.
The neckbeard things is pretty good for that. Like, randomly, like, we found this guy in cosplay on a fucking train. What is he doing? What
That's
that guy is doing though is living his best life.
yeah,
Nothing wrong with it. Go for it.
absolutely.
It's
I
funny.
mean, it takes a level of confidence that I'm not at.
Just
I
as long as
could-
you just wear deodorant.
Yeah, just bring fucking deodorant with you. Bring aftershave. Bring a roll-on deodorant that you can just. It's not going to take up any space in your bag.
Yeah.
It's not going to take up any space in your pocket. Just pack that with you, and you'll be fine. You will smell fresh. You will not piss off anybody.
Yeah, we actually talked about, like, I mentioned Five Guys there. I've had a long running thing about Five Guys. It's a burger place. I don't know if you've been there.
Oh yeah,
before.
I've been a few times. It's good.
It's good.
It's expensive. It's
Yeah, that's the thing that got me, because I went there 'cause somebody was bigging it up for ages,
good.
and I've been twice or something, but I was like, yes, it's good. You get a good burger out there.
Yeah.
It's not 20 quid good.
Nah, definitely.
It's not a £20 burger. If I can go down, we leave right now, we can go down to pubs in Lithgow. We can get one of those big double stack burgers with, like, several different layers of stuff.
I know the pub that you're talking about. It's not a good burger.
I know, but, like, you can go out and get
it for
a
cheap- you can get
decent
that
burger
for cheaper.
for like $12.95 or whatever.
Yeah.
If I go and pay £20 for a burger, this burger better be the best thing
This
you've ever
burger
had.
better rip my teeth out because of how good it is. I don't want to eat another burger if I'm paying 20 quid for it.
Yeah, this better be my only burger that I'm having for the next 3
Yeah.
weeks, because this should be perfect.
I want to pick bits of this burger out of my teeth for the next 6 months.
I should be trying to replicate this burger at home
Yeah.
with different cooking utensils, being like, how do they do it? And it's not £20 good. There's a
Yeah.
level, and it was the IT guy at work came in and was like, You had Five Guys at the weekend, and I went all out, and I went over just about every topping. We got the big fries, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
It was good. It was expensive though. I'm like, yeah, that's what I've been telling you, because he's the one who's been bigging it up for so long.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's good. It's not £20 good. There's a
Yeah.
difference.
I think I had a similar reaction because I went up. I'm not a big toppings person.
Yeah.
If anything, I might go cheese, but I'm more of a kind of give me the double burger.
Yeah.
Give me some tomato sauce on it. That's all I want on it. I'm not a big toppings guy.
That's almost kind of like a waste of experience for me, because I'm like, give me the jalapenos, give me the lettuce, give me the onions, give the full thing.
Yeah, I mean, at a push, I might go lettuce, tomatoes, but I'm not a fan of onions, and I can't eat jalapenos because I have an old man's stomach.
Yeah.
I have a fucking terrible tolerance for spice of any kind of degree. But I think I went up with 20 quid. I got a large drink. I got a medium fries, and I got the burger with lettuce, tomato. They were debuting some kind of special Five Guys sauce, which is like some kind of mayonnaise ketchup thing.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, fucking chuck that on. And I handed over the 20 quid note, and I think I got 3 quid back, and I went, excuse me,
Where's the rest of
where's
it?
the rest of my money? I bought a burger, chips, and a drink, and I have no money left. What the fuck is this? And he went, oh, that's just how much it costs.
Try ordering. There's some of them have beer.
Yeah, all of them have.
Try ordering the beer from there. It's the most expensive bottle of
Fuck.
Budweiser you're ever gonna get.
What bugs me is the one that I've been to Five Guys, I think 3 times. All 3 times I've been there, it's been through in Braehead Arena in Glasgow, the big shopping centre through there.
Yeah.
If I've been at a convention or something through there, or I've been through in Glasgow, just swung by there. And it has always been this ridiculously pretty, I think she was 22-year-old Canadian girl, and you can't shout at her.
She's very nice. She's too
She's
happy.
She's very nice, and she loves her job clearly, because she's always going to. Whenever she takes your order, she's like, "I'll be right with you, sir. You can go and get your drinks now. I'll ring you when it's ready." You just you love your job.
Or she's very, very close to being fired and is faking it really well.
Or the antidepressants are working very, very effectively.
Yeah.
You can't shout at them because you've got no money left.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
You took my money.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
One thing I did discover this year was a brisket.
All right.
I cannot go back.
Yeah.
Brisket and what the fuck's in it? I can't remember because we got it in Lidl, and I thought again I can't go back. It's not. It's kind of like brisket. It's not corned beef. Is it pastrami?
Oh, you've just discovered
Just
pastrami.
discovered pastrami.
Man, I feel bad for you. Like, you've
I
lived this
I
long
know.
without pastrami.
Tell me about it, dude. I just thought I can't go back.
No,
Normal
but these
roast beef
sandwiches.
sandwiches are they don't cut it anymore.
I don't know how long it's been. Like, the salami, pepperoni, stuff like that has always been just part of, like,
Yeah.
that's just sandwich meats for me.
Yeah, it's always been like pastrami. I've always loved a chicken and salami sandwich.
Yeah.
It's like thick cut chicken, bit of mayonnaise, chucking some lettuce, tomatoes with the salami. Fantastic. But
Yeah, go for it. Make yourself a damn sandwich,
yeah,
son.
make yourself a manwich.
Manwich.
A manwich. But yeah, pastrami just opened up this whole new avenue of delectable lunch meats.
There is an air
Lunch is
of
never fucking boring to me now.
There's an air of wonder in your voice. It's amazing.
Because literally, when it was that kind of, I took it out the packet because it was in Lidl. I think it was £1.80 for half a pound of it, or like almost a full pound of meat.
Mm-hmm.
And I took it out of the packet. I thought, oh, it smells kind of peppery. It smells quite good. Put it in my mouth, and it was just kind of, holy shit. Where has this been all my fucking life?
The prophecy.
The
It has
prophecy.
been fulfilled.
And we shall call it pastrami.
Yes. It's just fun to see people experiment with food. Like, I love
Yeah.
cooking is just part of,
Yeah, it's the
family
easy
for
skill
me,
to
yeah.
learn.
and it's as I think we've said it before on this podcast, is that learn to cook. Especially if you're a guy, like the idea that
Yeah.
guys can't cook is the dumbest thing I've ever
Yeah.
heard.
I mean, I was a chef for 3 years, and what tipped me over the edge towards leaving the job was the fact that I never cooked anything adventurous, despite changing the menu a few times.
Yeah.
It was always the same: fish and chips, steak pie, lentil soup, chips and cheese. It was always the same pub food.
Yeah.
And we changed the menu. Me and the head chef, I think, moved on to a new job just after I left, not too long after I left. We changed the menu. We put some new adventurous things on there. We put a sort of southern fried chicken burger, but with chili flakes through it.
Okay.
Just a sort of nice crispy batter on it. We made we started using bubble chips. Don't know what the fuck they were to anybody else, but it was some kind of weird bubbled.
Oh, it's like
Fry.
air pops.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
weird, but they tasted great. And we started doing stuff like salt and pepper chicken wings, and we trialed the menu for a week.
And nobody pushes the boat out, and you don't get to make interesting meals. Yeah.
No, And then we tried, right, that's going to be too fancy. How about we reel it back a bit? How about we start doing other things like we'll do ham and cheese stuffed fish cakes. We'll do chicken Kievs. We showed the owner the new menu and he went, look, boys, I appreciate that you're trying to revitalise the menu. You're trying to put new shit out there. You're in bonus. Nobody wants this fancy shite that you're trying to put out. And at that point I said, owner, because I can't remember his fucking name, it's fucking Kievs. I used to eat these when I was younger.
Yeah.
After school. They're not fucking fancy. How about, can we not just put them out? No, folk want chips and cheese. They want soup. They want steak pie. Like, could we at least make good soup and steak pie and fish and chips other than the canned shit that you tell us to put out? No, mate, we'll keep it simple. Fuck.
I think that's the business versus creativity there.
Yeah, I think it was just this business, their business was failing even at the time because the pub that I used to work at has changed hands 3 times since I left.
Yeah.
And I think it was just they knew they were running out of money and thought, fuck it, we're just going to stick with the tin shit.
Yeah.
Then just eventually try and make some money off of it.
I think they just want to keep it simple, keep it streamlined.
Yeah.
And then we had, because this week we had Macmillan Cancer Coffee Morning, which is for helping raise money for Macmillan Cancer nurses who are, phenomenal. They're I've unfortunately had to use their services. My little brother was treated, but Macmillan was part of his treatment, and they are phenomenal. They're great people.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of energy to do that work, and part of their fundraising is this coffee morning where everyone you bring what you want to make, and you all kind of contribute to one big meal, and everyone chips in for charity and stuff like that, and we raise a ton of money for it every year just through everyone brings something. People get weirded out when you're like, yeah, I'm gonna bring pulled pork. Like, what?
Pulled pork is delicious, goddammit.
I know, but you're like, people are like, you can make that? And yeah, it's easy.
Yeah, just slam that shit in a slow cooker, let it cook for 6 hours, so that you literally just tap it and it falls apart.
Yeah, get the sauce right and you're fine. Just
get a good smoky barbecue sauce in there.
Nah, go North Carolina.
North Carolina. If that's got spice in it, you can fuck off.
It's a lot of spice.
Oh, right.
It's a lot of vinegar. You actually,
I'm not a fan of vinegar.
You soak it in a mix of cider and malt vinegar, so 50-50. There's a lot of brown sugar in there, and then there is, you should be using cayenne pepper. I was going a bit softer on this one because I know that somebody was bringing a kid. I'm like, that kid's going to be like, oh, cool, ham, and then go and try and eat it. And I'm like, I don't want to kill a kid.
Yeah, you don't want to.
I don't want to melt a kid's tongue off.
Yeah, you don't want to be responsible for a kid sweating from the eyeballs. He's going, I tried the pulled pork that the bald man brought and now I'm dying.
Yeah, because I normally make it and I put in tons of cayenne pepper and then bit of habanero, because it's supposed to be, what do you call it? Tabasco sauce. I go Dave's Insanity sauce.
That alone just made me need to go to the toilet.
It's
the mention of hot sauce just made, oh wait, I'm gonna shit myself a bit.
I love that stuff, the way it effervesces in the mouth when you eat it.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yes, there it is. But I'm like, I'll chuck tons of that stuff in, and because a lot of it cooks off because you're slow cooking, so it's like you gotta get it in there. So I kept it simple, kept it with Tabasco and paprika instead of cayenne pepper, just to make it a bit sweeter.
Yeah, give it a little bit of a tang, but nothing that's gonna blow your head off.
Because that I'm really worried at some point somebody's going to realise how, because somebody asked me that once, so we get lunches on certain days. We do a free lunch every Friday, just organise it within the lab.
Yeah.
And we ordered in stuff from a place that did what do you call them? Pakora.
Oh, right.
And there was a pakora sauce there. And somebody asked me, is this hot? And I'm like, my scale on that is wrong. I am a broken person. I will go for the hottest shit. And I will go, Scotch bonnets is one of the ones that I'm really getting into right now. Scotch bonnet sauces. Oh, so good. And I was like, you don't want to ask me that, because last night I had a lot of, I think it was a Jamaican pepper, I had ghost pepper sauce and made kind of Jamaican chicken or something like that. And I was like, you don't want to know what I think is hot. This pakora sauce is not hot, but at the same time, I'm worried that I'm off calibration, and I'm going to be like, yeah, you're fine, go for it. And they're like, this hurts, and I'm like, there's nothing wrong with it.
They're just sweating from everywhere.
It's pakora sauce. It's not bad.
When you I figured out how to make pakora sauce this year. It's basically just diluted tomato sauce with herbs in it. Yeah, it's not hard to make.
Yeah, there's a little couple spicy peppers now, and you good. Yeah, you don't have to worry about it. I mean, I did one shift at a fast food place, and I had to do pouring out the pakora sauce. It's a weird consistency to do it when you're pouring it out.
Yeah.
Because it's cold, so it's like because they're storing it in fridges because it's food, and just as you're pouring it out, it's like syrup. And you're like, that's not good. That's not good.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's not right.
So when the mayonnaise comes out like syrup, it's already like that's really
God.
not good. What is wrong with this?
There's something clearly wrong with this ingredient.
Yeah, this is not bad until somebody goes, no, that's the milk.
Oh God! Why is it chunky?
Oh, you ever throw away chunky milk?
Yep.
Oh, that's bad. When
Fucking horrible.
I left, I was away for a couple of days and didn't come back to the house and went, oh yeah, that milk's out of date. And then realised, oh wait, that milk was just out of date when I left.
Oh God!
Ew.
It's looking at me.
You're just like pouring it down the toilet, like flush, 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 flush. Hit the button, hit the button, hit the button.
Just it won't go away quick enough.
I actually wanted to ask you about if you'd seen it. It broke pretty much Friday night. Machine Head have broken up.
Yeah, I did see that. I was kind of disappointed, but at the same time, Machine Head have always been a very, very hit or miss band for me.
Yeah.
They've got a couple of face meltingly good tracks, a couple of real fucking belters.
The Blackening is untouchable.
Yeah, The Blackening is a fucking great album. But
I got into them after The Locust, because there was the track Suffer Unto the Locust.
yeah, that was a great.
That was phenomenally good, like great chugging riff, but like
Yeah, just a real good face melting track. But
and yeah, they've had on and off years, and people are like, it doesn't matter. The last couple albums have been shit. No, the last couple albums have been pretty good.
it's been okay.
It got a bit preachy on Catharsis. There was a lot of like anti-drug messaging stuff in there. There was a lot of like weird mixed messaging as well.
Yeah.
And it's like, but the fact that they could play with their own styles and would change it up is great.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but there's a lot of people who are like, it doesn't matter. They weren't good. And I'm like, no, they were good.
Yeah, they were pretty good. They were one of the sort of pioneers of early sort of 90s, 2000s metal.
Yeah.
They were one of the bands that I could quite comfortably recommend to someone who's just trying to get into heavy metal.
Yeah.
But it'll be sad to see them go, but at the same time, it's one of those decisions that I can respect, because you want to go out on a high, or you want to go out you want to go out at the right time. You don't want to overstay your welcome. And I think maybe if they'd done a couple more albums, they were going to get to that stale point.
By the looks of things, they were never going to get that far. If you've actually if you watched the 10-minute video of Rob Flynn explaining what's going on, it's weird though, because there's a running joke of, if you're ever in the YouTube community, you have to do a serious video. You need to start with a camera pointed at an empty couch. You come on, you just sit there and you go,
I have a confession to make.
guys, we got to talk.
Yeah.
It's bad stuff. And I'm not happy about it. That happened. Rob Flynn did that.
Jesus Christ.
And I was like, it's like, wait, this just isn't and I was thinking about it. It's like, if you have to have a serious conversation, that clear-headed, like taking that first breath and just saying, right, okay, here we go. Here's the tough talk, kids. Like, it works. But at the same time, like, it's such a cliche. I was like, wait, Rob Flynn does this now? What is going on here? But yeah, he's taking the blame entirely on himself.
Really?
Yeah. He's basically just saying, I'm a bit too controlling. I have like an iron fist on this band, and they are not happy with it, and so they've decided they're going to leave. But in a very classy move, they're finishing their tour, because they've got another 25 dates in America. I'm like, shit. Of course it's in America.
Yeah.
It's like when Before the Dawn broke up, and they're like, oh, we're doing our last tour in Asia. You're a Finnish metal band, please do a European tour. But yeah, they're finishing up their tour dates, and he's saying after that we don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Because two members are confirmed to have left. He said that there's another guy who may be leaving. They're not sure, but the band, as we know it, is effectively over, and we might see another, like a redoing of the band. I hope he goes to do something else.
Yeah, I kind of hope that they leave Machine Head as is. I hope they just kind of think, right, we've done everything that we can with this band. We're going to move on to something fresh. We're going to move on to something new. But I know for a fact it's probably not going to be that way. I think they're just going to try and rehash it again in a few years' time, which will be a shame.
Yeah, but the way they're talking about it is like the last tour is going to be a tribute to Machine Head's work thus far, and they're going to celebrate the band with the best lineup. They say, look, this is the best Machine Head's ever been with this current lineup, and we're going to celebrate that on the way out. You're like, fuck. But I just hope that means that, because I'll tune in for Rob Flynn's next band. I'm up for that. I think majority of people are. I think you're right. Just put Machine Head down.
Yeah.
don't try and relaunch Machine Head with a new bunch of musicians because it won't end well.
Yeah.
I think you get deliberate backlash on using the Machine Head name.
Yeah. I think that's what Killswitch Engage should have done when Howard was booted it.
Yeah.
I think they should have just left all the good work that they'd done with a Howard Jones-led Killswitch Engage as it was, and just say, right, we're going to continue, but as, was it Times of Grace? You had Adam D. It was Adam D. and Jesse Leach. They had the band Times of Grace. They had the first record was Strength in Numbers.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. It was a good record, but the only problem is they then decided this is just Killswitch Engage. Why don't we just get you back into Killswitch Engage?
Yeah,
which was the wrong move in my opinion.
but that must have been so weird being in that must be the writing must have been on the wall for Howard Jones at that point.
Yeah,
Like he must have been like, wait, you guys are just doing Killswitch stuff over there. Fuck.
yeah, I'm on my way out, aren't I?
It's actually kind of because they did a Killswitch album after Days of Grace. I think there was one after they released the Days of Grace album. There was one last album with Howard as Killswitch. Cannot remember what it was called.
There was the Adam D and Jesse Leach. They done Times of Grace. Then there was one other Killswitch album, and it wasn't that. No, it definitely was. There was one that I was at the gig for when they toured live, and they toured with In Flames and another band which was shit. They had that record, but there was another record that came out after that.
I think it was the one with the Jaguar on the front.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I can't remember. I just remember that artwork of being like it's a really weird like purple and green Jaguar, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this is cool.
because
Yeah.
I remember the record that came out after
Because
that.
that's the one with the it's Save Me, which
Yeah.
is the one with the puppeteering.
all the
but
little
it's-
plasticine models.
Yeah, the plasticine
yeah.
Play-Doh guys. And Howard Jones just like fishing.
Yeah.
He's just out in a little boat fishing away. You're like,
Yeah.
hey, tiny Hojo.
That's pretty good.
Tiny fishing Hojo. But yeah, I just the writing must have been on the wall. It was
Yeah.
so fucking awkward.
It must have been pretty harsh. But now they're making songs with Howard Jones.
Yeah, they made space for him in the album, which is, I guess, it's nice.
Yeah, but
At the
also
same
kinda
time,
means
it's like
the death of Light the Torch.
Yeah. Nah, I actually don't know. I don't follow that band anymore. I
Nah,
don't know if
they
they're doing anything new.
They had one really good first record, then the second one just kind of didn't work at all.
Yeah, I
It's
think
just
that was a weird one from rebranding the band for legal reasons. But I mean, when it comes down to somebody saying, if you don't change the name of your band, we're gonna sue. You're gonna change the name of your fucking band.
Yeah, you're going to change that name pretty fucking quick. Because I know the original name was Devil You Know.
Yeah, and those were great. Two great albums. All of them.
Yeah, fucking great.
I wanted to ask you as well about Dark Phoenix.
Most boring fucking trailer. It was pitiful, that trailer. All it was fucking Sansa Stark walking about with her hand out, doing fuck all for 3 minutes.
To be fair though, that is how that movie will be. There will be no martial arts when it comes to fucking X-Men. It's all about just with her as well. It's all about raw power.
Yeah. But just walking about with her hand out, I want to see her firing some weird ass fiery beams. I want to see her ripping entire cities out of its foundation.
Yeah, because that's her power level at that point. It's just like when
Her-
she goes for it, she's like, well, the
Yeah.
planet's gonna end.
The original Dark Phoenix storyline that was in that was taken from Jim Lee's X-Men run that was adapted into the 1990s X-Men cartoon
Yeah,
was that the Dark Phoenix was a cosmic entity that needed a strong psychic body
to hold it.
to hold it, because that's how powerful she needed to be. So, and the only thing that could kill the Phoenix outright was if you killed the host and let it fuck off to another.
It passes on. It
It
leaves
passes on.
the body.
If you kill one host, it'll pass on. That's the only way to free that person from the Phoenix.
Mm.
What they don't know at that point is the Phoenix is that strong, it can just reform that host
Oh,
because it gains the power just by thinking it.
wait a minute. What
Just
if
hold
it
on.
didn't die?
Yeah,
Oh.
It's horrible writing because they realised that by killing Jean Grey in the comic books, they kind of killed a really good character. So they thought,
Yeah.
right, what we'll do is we'll have her die, air quotations,
So we
Then-
get to sell the whole thing of Jean Grey dies,
Yeah.
and then she comes back.
then the whole death of Superman thing was like, oh, she's totally dead. Yeah, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah,
Then-
it's I mean, comic book writers are very good at having their cake and eating it
Yeah.
too. It's a weird
Navigating that bullshit.
I mean, it does make for bad. You got to explain, like, we now have to point out the fact that a character dies, but don't worry, it's fine. She comes back to life in the next episode.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, kids. She's fine. You're like,
Yeah, she's fine.
it's kind of a cop out.
But she has a samurai sword in her head. It's cool. She has a cosmic alien thing.
She has a
that's gonna keep her alive.
samurai sword in her head.
I mean, it's not much better. It's not too far away from how she actually dies in the comic books.
Because you say samurai sword, and I for some reason was like, oh, Deadpool kills her because they get involved because he's involved with those guys. But at the same time, like that'd be really funny if like
Deadpool's the ultimate weapon that can kill the Phoenix.
Well, Deadpool is one of the ultimate weapons of the Marvel universe. Like he fights to get the love of death for just like because he wants to die. But at the same time, like isn't it really
Death's enamored with Deadpool because he can't die.
Oh right. It's Thanos that's trying to get the love of death.
But Death is unrequited because Death wants nothing to do with Thanos.
Yeah.
So in the ultimate dick move and the ultimate friend zone is what we'll call it. She makes Thanos immortal. Just like, you're never going to join the realm of death. Immortal, bitch.
I want to see, like, with you have Deadpool as the ultimate joke character, have him be a genuine, sincere finisher for Thanos. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah,
like,
that'd be pretty good.
We were talking about Captain Marvel might be, or like she will probably come back and play a huge role in the Infinity War. But how brilliant would it be if Deadpool just shows up and goes, fuck you, and stabs him in the eye and walks away and just walks off to do his other shit.
Like, I want them to have that kind of Dragon Ball Super moment where Goku and Vegeta, they're fighting like fuck to try and get rid of Zamasu.
Yeah.
They get their asses kicked and Trunks just comes up and stabs Zamasu and cuts him in half. I want to have that moment, but Deadpool just going, hey, you purple bitch.
What?
Just hiya.
Just make some weird quip and then just fucks off and nobody knows who he is. That'd be amazing because that's part of what interests me about this whole thing is that like with Spider-Man, Deadpool and Spider-Man hang out because they're both from New York. They occasionally cross paths and it's sometimes not great and sometimes it's a bit weird. Yeah. But like having those like smaller characters show up and then nobody knows who they are. Because Deadpool isn't that. I mean, he could be a cosmic player if he wanted to be, but at the same time, he's just a dick running around with swords. Like he's just on that lower level. Yeah. But he's overpowered at the lower level. But he's still overpowered when you take him up to the higher levels because he can regenerate himself from like a single cell. Yeah,
he can regenerate himself from nothing, and he's fighting stage 4 cancer.
Yeah, his entire body is constantly trying to kill him, and that because imagine if he didn't have the stage 4 cancer, how much more powerful would he be in those movies? But but when you come at something like Dark Phoenix, Jean Grey is like on several levels above even some of the worst stuff that's in the Marvel universe if she wants to be. Yeah,
I wonder how they're actually going to deal with her death ultimately in the movies, because in the comic books, what happens is Jean Grey kind of takes control for a minute and just realizes, holy shit, I have done all of this. This is all my fault. Then she goes to right, and what I'm going to say is word for word, give or take the means of her death, how it happens. She gets some solace. She goes to the moon, right, and kind of has that solace to look down at the earth and think, right, I've done this. I cannot go back down to earth. I'm going to destroy it if I go back down. So she finds a Kree weapon on the moon, and she just basically blows herself up with it.
Okay,
that's just the end of it. It ends fairly abruptly. There's a little speech that she has saying, I'm doing this for the good of humanity, I'm doing this for the good of the mutant race, and of course I'm doing this for you, Scott, because you always got to drop Cyclops' name if you're talking about the X-Men. And then she just straight up kills herself with a Kree weapon, which is
damn, son.
Yeah, but then it's ultimately undone about 10 issues later when she's, hey guys, I'm back, but I'm not the Phoenix anymore, I swear.
So how did you survive on the moon? Doesn't matter, fuck it.
Doesn't matter, I'm
magic. Ooh, I love Scott. Ooh. And Wolverine's like, this is weird. I'm backing out.
Secretly wiping everybody's memory.
It never happened. Ooh, magic.
Everyone just trying to stab me. No.
Everyone slept for 2 weeks. It was fine. It was great. We all feel great.
Blow up Michigan.
Michigan's fine.
There's not a crater where Michigan used to be.
Who was because there was something else like.
I don't know where the fuck Michigan came in my head. Never been to
What's
Michigan.
Wrong with Michigan?
I don't know. I've never been to Michigan.
Detroit, Motor City, baby. Come on, what's wrong with that?
I have nothing against Michigan. Apparently, run. Dark Phoenix is coming, motherfucker.
Run, Michigan. You're not safe. Maybe we don't remember why, but you're not safe.
Angry Sansa Stark coming at you.
Yeah. That was actually part of what I talked about. Was first of all, like the visual effects on her look pretty good. Yeah, like, the glowing eyes was like, that's breathtaking. I don't know what they're doing. It's working. But also, I thought Jennifer Lawrence was done.
Yeah, me too.
And then she's back. She's a prominent figure. She's Mystique again, and she's like full X-Men kicking ass mode. And you're like,
I think they were sliding her Benjamins during that meeting, just going, come on, we'll pay you more. Just
I think
stay.
it's the Fox side of things, but that's a Disney property.
Yeah.
You want that Disney money? I got that Disney money. You want Disney money? You
Yeah, she's
Disney
probably getting
money.
that Disney money now.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about voice acting and stuff being competitive. Acting still competitive as well. It's the same
Yeah.
idea. Like, as soon as your last project's done, you're living off the funds from the previous project until you find the next one. And you can live off that Disney money for a while. But yeah, I watched it and I was like, hey, she's supposed to be gone.
Yeah, I thought after Apocalypse, I thought she was done. But after you watch Apocalypse, you realise that she was done in that movie.
Yeah.
She just doesn't give a fuck. She's like, you're not mutants, you are Xmen.
X-Men. Jennifer,
Also-
you fucked up the line.
Shut up,
I
you
don't care.
fucked up the line. Where's my scotch?
You know who fucked up the line? The writers.
Yeah.
I actually did. You've seen Apocalypse.
James Mangold, you bitch. Why'd you kill Logan?
You've seen Apocalypse, right?
Yeah.
I
Got on
hated
board.
that movie. Fucking could not stand. I don't like the fact that it ends in a scream fight. It's literally
Yeah.
just heard like it's Jean Grey screaming at whatever the fuck.
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse. Doesn't matter. And
I thought he was just like, is Colin trying to be comic book accurate? Is he trying to remember the actual name of Apocalypse?
I
It's in Sabanur.
in Sabanur.
In
Okay.
Sabanur, because he's Egyptian. He's like, God.
I forgot that whole thing. Like, yeah, I forgot the whole thing of
fucking
like.
dumb.
What bugged me though is I was sitting there watching the movie, and I was like, "This is ending in a scream fight." And Apocalypse is like tearing the planet apart with the magnetic force or something. I give a
He's
shit.
basically using Magneto to fuck up the Earth.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's using Magneto to reverse the Earth's polarity, and then like that'll explode shit. No one gives a
I
fuck.
don't know.
But you're watching it happen, and then they keep cutting through it like the world to, but oh my god, it's a planetary event. And there was at one point one of the cuts is to like a shipping yard, and it's like a big shipping, like a crane, like, so it's to move crates onto and off of ships.
Oh, like moving big shipping containers,
Yeah.
that kind of shit.
And that wasn't textured. When I saw it in the cinema, that fucking thing was not textured. They gave up on the budget. I was
Yeah.
like, what the shit am I? Oh, that was it. I was mentally just checked out. I'm like, all I can hear is her screaming, and then there's the horrible winds blowing, and that's not textured. I hope it's fixed, but I swear blind, in the cinema that thing was not textured.
Yeah, Age of Apocalypse itself wasn't a good movie. It had some cool moments in it, but the complete and utter cop out of the four horsemen being Storm, Psylocke, Magneto, and Angel was just bullshit.
Yeah.
Because he only loses one of them, and that's where Archangel comes in.
Right.
He loses one of his horsemen because I think one of the X-Men just goes full ham beast on him, just takes out that horseman. Then Apocalypse sees Angel and just goes, you're going to be my Archangel now, and that's where he gets the metal wings. But he gets corrupted almost, so he looks almost like Apocalypse. He gets the blue skin, he gets a new suit.
I don't enjoy that movie, and I'm worried about them doing more and more stuff. But I think the budget's come back now because it's got that Disney money. So I mean, yeah, Jennifer Lawrence is back, and that's a good sign.
Yeah,
because she's good.
She was one of the better parts of the movie. She played Mystique fairly well, but to me,
Yeah.
Mystique has always been a villain.
Yeah,
they're trying to
she's
make-
part of the X-Men now, and you're like, but
Yeah.
she's on Magneto's side, and it's
She's a-
because they're playing up the drama between Magneto, and I think they're isolating him
Yeah,
quite a bit, and it works for their narrative, but at the same time, like, it's different from the cartoons we watched when we were kids.
I just want them to do the Brotherhood of Mutants storyline, and I want them to do it well, and that means
Which
that,
one's that?
That's basically almost civil war between the Brotherhood of Mutants and the X-Men.
All right.
It's basically the X-Men want to live kind of symbiotically with the humans. They don't want them to be afraid of the powers. They don't want them to be afraid of anything they can do. They just want to live kind of side by side. But the Brotherhood of Mutants basically want to subjugate all humans and make them fear other mutants.
Right.
So, and then that kind of comes to a head when you get a really cool sort of moment between Professor Xavier and Magneto. Have that kind of battle of logic, which is what I prefer about some of the conversations or some of the confrontations between Xavier and Magneto. It's not the fighting; it's the logic and the
It's about the
conversation that's involved.
ethics and the logics
Yeah.
behind why they come to the conclusion that
Yeah.
humanity needs to be assimilated into the mutants or needs to die, and
Yeah.
you've got to have that argument. And it's about it's about more than the fight.
Yeah, so that's what I've always liked about some of the X-Men comics. It's not always been about, I have metal claws and I can cut you up 9 different ways. It's all about, it's all about more idealism and all about sort of more logical thinking. It's not just surface level. You have to go into it a bit more. I kind of like that.
And that's part of why the characters are so interpersonally dramatized. Like there is like the love triangle of Scott, Logan, and Jean. What the fuck was that?
That was me hitting off bottle of thing.
But yeah, there's always the love triangle between Logan, Scott, and Jean, and that was part of the key part of watching the show, was like watching a guy have unrequited love for one of the most powerful beings in the universe, and then realizing it's going to end badly, and he's smart enough to know it. But he's never gonna. He kind of doesn't let it show because she's in love with the all-American high school quarterback of Scott, who I fucking hate Cyclops.
Marvel hates Cyclops as well. He's been demonized and dragged through the mud in every single comic book that you can think of where Cyclops is a main character.
But I mean, laser beam eyes is possibly one of the, like, on your childhood list of coolest powers. Yeah. Always near top tier for every childhood listed powers.
Not only that, he can, because his power is obviously the laser eyes, but he can do shit to it. So he can basically angle it off. Right. So he can fire it straight down, but then angle it down so it bounces off a shiny metal surface and gets one of the enemies underneath. Right. He's a weird master of angles as well. Yeah. So that adds an extra bit to Cyclops.
And all you have to do to make him look normal is just throw a cool pair of shades on him. Yeah. And just say, oh, don't worry, like Charles diddled with these, and now they're Cyclops proof.
Yeah. Now they have, what was it they said in the movie? Oh, they have rose quartz in them, so you can't burn people with your laser eyes.
Oh yeah, it was rose quartz, wasn't it? It was really like, ugh.
No.
Please half-ass it a bit more.
Yeah, please phone it in more.
Yeah, but hopefully, I mean, I want these movies to do well. I want them to be decent, at least entertaining. And I think with it being, there was the Fox Studios takeover by Disney, I just don't see them bring them into the MCU for Thanos. I think if there's any kind of major rewrites, and like there's a kind of, I get the feeling that Thanos might be solved with an upheaval of like the physics of that world. I think after that we might see them brought in, but it's too late to include them in the Thanos thing.
I think what the hell's his name? Is it Kevin Feige? I think it's Kevin Feige. He basically said the Fox Disney merger came about too late, so there's no way that they can put them in cleanly, and they want to
it would be so shoehorned, and it would be horrifying.
It'd be shoved in there. So what they said is they've got everything planned out for the next 2 years. So they've got 2018, 2019, and 2020. Yeah. Got everything planned, but they said they're not ruling out maybe a couple of appearances here and then, just to say that the Xmen are now in this universe.
Yeah, because you can just maybe have them hang out or something like, oh, Tony Stark was just happy to be consulting with Professor Xavier about an idea that he's got.
Richards is talking to Dr. Banner or something.
Oh yeah, there's the Fantastic Four in there as well.
I just want them to do the Fantastic Four right, because the Fantastic Four is one of the coolest concepts that you can have that leads to one of the strongest Marvel characters of all time.
Which one?
A character called Franklin Richards, who's the son of Sue Storm and Reed Richards.
Okay.
Who can literally make and unmake reality as he sees fit. And he's 12. There's a point in one of the comic books when you're first introduced to Franklin Richards, I think Wolverine or something's there, and he's like, relax, Bob, I need to talk to your dad. And he pulls out these little pistols. Yeah. And he just looks at Wolverine and says, you know what I can do with these, right? I can turn these into real bullets. I can turn them into whatever bullet can kill you. I can do whatever I want. Then Wolverine's just kind of thinking, right, do I need to pop the claws out and gut this kid? Then the kid just goes, I'll go get my dad for you. But he's classified as an Omega level character. Right. An Omega level in Marvel is kind of one of the highest echelons of power. Yeah. Because it goes the one above all, who's just infinitely powerful. Yeah. He could blink at Galactus and Galactus could burst. Right. Then you get a sort of cosmic level, which is like Galactus, what the fuck are they called? I think they might just be called cosmic entities. You know, in Guardians of the Galaxy, when they go to nowhere. Yeah. That nowhere is the head of a celestial. That's celestial.
All right.
And basically, they're just all powerful beings that created the Infinity Stones. Then you get Omega level characters, which are sort of Franklin Richards. Phoenix is considered an Omega level character. Wolverine at one point was considered an Omega level character because he died 3 times and hell spat him back out.
I suppose you get to a point where it's like, if the laws of death stop working, that would be like another level of classification for you.
Thanos is upper echelon Omega level because he's ridiculously powerful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he did just go.
Yeah. And destroy the universe.
Things went bad. Yeah. Yeah. But I think to solve him, because just being the point of like, if the rules of death stop applying to you, you're on a class of your own.
Yeah.
I think then you need to rewrite the rules of the universe. At that point, you just kind of say, and now we have space for these people that we just bought. And
I think what they'll probably do is just reality's kind of been undone by the death of so many people. So I think when they do write it, they'll probably, it'd be horribly forced if they did it this way, but I can see them doing it something like this. Or the walls of the multiverse crack, and that's when Wolverine or Cyclops steps through and go, oh, cool.
Oh, you guys got stuff over here too?
Oh, you've got bad guys in here? Oh, we just killed one. Can we stay here? Our other planet's kind of fucked now.
Yeah, that'd be
As Cable said, you fucked this planet into a coma.
I'd love to see. The only one I'm like, I need to have him there is Deadpool.
Yeah.
I like Ryan Reynolds, and I just want him to be able to play in that universe. And I think when you have the raw charisma of Ryan Reynolds, and then you just throw him against the current like staple of like Marvel heroes right now.
You throw him. I want to see Spider-Man, or Tom Holland Spider-Man, and Ryan Reynolds Deadpool do even just
just 5 minutes,
a half-hour short.
Yeah,
just those two dicking around.
I'm surprised actually that the big budget Marvel stuff. It's why we're in the cinema. It's why we're so captivated by it. We're talking about it fucking months after it happened.
Yeah.
And
we
want
to see Venom in the larger Marvel universe as well. I think that'd be pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I actually did the trailer for that. Was at my mum and dad's yesterday, and just the Venom trailer came on. And Dad was like, "What the fuck's this?" And I'm like, "Oh, they're doing a solo movie for Venom, one of the Spider-Man characters. He's an anti-hero. Or he's a villain. He can be an anti-hero if he wants to be, but he's mostly a villain for Spider-Man." And he goes, "When did that happen?" I'm like, "Oh, it's been in production for like 18 months. Like, it's been in production hell for a while."
Yeah.
But no, it's just Tom Hardy's doing it. And I was like, "What? When's Tom Hardy getting involved?" I'm like, "Seriously, he was down for this for ages. Like, they just wanted to give him his own movie." And then it's just like, not having those characters available. I don't know if you've got time to fit them in.
Yeah.
Because you could have Venom show up and be like a bit of like look, I'm not always with you, but for 5 minutes, I'll help you deal with Thanos. I'll deal with the big idea of like him. He needs to be dealt with. Yeah. Although part of me was like, I wonder what happens if you give Thanos a symbiote.
They actually answered that in one of the cartoons that I was watching randomly with my niece, and they basically say that Thanos is that powerful mentally that the symbiote cannot dominate.
No, that makes sense.
Which also gives you a scale of just how fucking psychically powerful Mantis is from the Guardians of the Galaxy. She was able to subdue him for 30 seconds. Yeah. This guy can fight off symbiotes that are meant to subdue their hosts.
Yeah, because the symbiote is a parasite, and it's a symbiotic relationship. No, that symbiote is tearing you apart from the inside, and that's at one point like Brock was stuck as Venom because if the suit retreated, he'd be dead. And I think that was a storyline at some point in the cartoons.
Like most Marvel characters, because at some point they thought it'd just be cool to give characters cancer.
Right.
Eddie Brock got cancer. I think it was liver cancer. Again, stage 3 or 4 liver cancer, fairly aggressive liver cancer. He put on the Venom suit and he says, "I can make you strong. I can keep you strong." And that's when the Venom symbiote almost permanently bonded to him.
Right.
And it was just fighting off the cancer form as quick as it could develop.
Yeah, but you get stuck in that weird situation.
I'm going to call you out on that one, Marvel. Why did you give so many characters cancer in the early 90s? It's harsh, man.
I think it was actually, there was, I don't want to talk about South Park in a minute, but
okay.
There's an episode of South Park where Cartman gets AIDS.
I think I remember that.
And there's a Jimmy Buffett concert, and it's just Jimmy Buffett going, "AIDS burger in paradise. AIDS burger, yeah, said it twice." And it's just a horrifying, like, shitty, like, pro-AIDS thing, like, fundraiser. But they go, "Oh, AIDS was an 80s thing, cancer's the 90s thing. Like, it's the 90s. Cancer's the thing we care about now." So I think it was to be relevant to what was, at the time, just this explosion of understanding of cancer. So, it makes kind of sense for them to keep throwing.
I suppose it's the same thing that DC did when they had a few of their some of their bigger name characters deal with, their sidekick being addicted to heroin or they had the Green Arrow walking on. Now they've called him Arsenal because his original name was Speedy.
Right.
His original name was Speedy. You can see why they changed the name.
Yeah.
Because they even have
Please tell me he had a meth problem.
I had a heroin problem.
Okay.
And there's a very, very...
I gotta slow down. I gotta slow down real bad.
Yeah. It's just, I'm too speedy, man. I need to slow the fuck down. But they have this really cool, iconic panel of Green Arrow walking into a room, and he says, "Oh no, my ward, Roy Harper, he's addicted to heroin," and he's sitting there boiling heroin with a spoon, and he's still got the domino mask on, and he's got the little Robin Hood hat on. He's just going, "It's not what it looks like." And then Batman gets called in to kick the shit.
Imagine having that number on your phone, like, right, you have a problem. We're gonna deal with this the only way I know how.
Rehab.
Batman, kick the fuck out of him.
It's not even that. Robin shows up, and Robin's just like, I think Robin at this point was Dick Grayson. And as we discussed previously, Dick Grayson,
no.
it's just, we can beat this with the power of positivity, as Roy Harper's just injecting himself. I can't deal with this. I'm not dealing with Dick Grayson.
I gotta get my, because this thing is like, Batman is a very moral character, and we've said it before, Robin has always been a Boy Scout.
Yeah, Robin's been a...
Imagine having a Boy Scout come in to morally lecture you on heroin addiction when you're a fucking superhero that's deal with, you have to mop up the fucking mess of a superhero. Like, there's going to be some bodies you've seen, like you would need to get high as shit to get over it. And you just have Robin coming and go, "Well, Jiminy Jillikers, you've got a problem."
You can be everything with a positive attitude. Fuck off, Robin.
Robin, I swear to God, I'm gonna gut you like a fucking fish.
You know what my superpower is? My superpower is a bow and fucking arrow. I shoot people in the head. Green Arrow shoots people in the head. Who do you think cleans up those bodies? Ain't the cops.
And the cops never get involved.
It ain't city sanitation. It's this motherfucker. No wonder I'm taking heroin. Be surprised I ain't taking much else.
There's I want to talk about Southpark.
Something we haven't spoke about in a while, actually.
Well, they take time off because they start making games. And I don't know if you've played them. I've played Fractured Butthole.
I've played The Stick of Truth, and I kind of got bored.
Oh, no, wait. I played Stick of Truth. I enjoyed it. I played it all the way through, and I was like, this is a really a fun game. It's weird. Like, I'm not a big fan of JRPGs. I actually really despise them as a genre, but this is that type of game where it's like...
What's wrong with the JRPGs?
I don't like it. I don't like turn-based. It's fun to have the strategy and stuff, but I prefer having my actual reflexes and stuff tested with like action games. Yeah. And I just find that I've played a couple. I think the main one I played was a Lord of the Rings one, but I play those games because they're in a franchise I like. Yeah. And then I've played that one because it's South Park. It's a South Park game. It's written in the style of a South Park. It's not just like a skin over a JRPG. Yeah. It's a South Park game all the way to its, aborted Nazi fetus core.
Jesus, they weren't even fucking around with that word.
They were not. There was parts of it were actually censored.
Really?
For the UK.
I do remember seeing something about that. They censored...
It was abortion stuff.
Yeah, quite a lot of abortion stuff. Something about you had to go into Stan's dad's ass, pull something out or something like that.
There was a part when you're in Mr. Slave's ass.
Yeah.
And you're miniaturized, you're running around Mr. Slave's ass fighting, and you're actually looking for the Gerbil King or something like that. But there's an entire section in Mr. Slave's ass. And then there's just it's a bit weird, but it's a weird thing. You're like, you're just inside a guy's ass. You're just running around fighting the weird gerbils and stuff that he's got shoved up there.
So I remember people lost the collective shit over the difficulty settings on Fractured Butthole.
Yeah, it was
a white
based on your
character.
skin
If you're
tone.
doing easy, your skin tone gets darker as you go to normal. You get darker again towards hard. Then if you go the ultimate hardest mode, you essentially turn African American, which I can understand why. I'm not saying this is good, but I can understand why people lost their collective shit, and they did lose the collective shit over this.
And it's a thing of like, you don't understand. That's what South Park is here to do.
Yeah, South Park is to basically make you.
It's going to offend you.
It's going to make you laugh, but it's also there to offend you.
It's going to offend you. It's going to make you laugh, and you're going to have to think about what you just laughed at,
Yeah.
and you will come to, you will think about stuff more because you laughed at it, and that was the reason why they started the season 22 with an episode about school shooting.
Oh God.
Yeah. And they handle it the only way you could make a school shooting funny, and the school shooting is going on in the background. You never actually see anyone shoot up the school. You see some bullets flying, and you hear a lot of gunshots, and there's like SWAT teams coming in to deal with it and like shoot the kids or shoot the school shooters.
Right.
Although there's a horrific point where Mr. Mackey's running around outside in the hallway as the principal is dealing with Cartman and Token, who are having they're like one of the main storylines in the episode is that Cartman is not being allowed to cheat off of Token, because Token's going to study for it. He's studied for the test. He's getting all the answers right, and he's getting like a 95%, whereas Cartman's failing. So Cartman's going to try and copy him. That's the main storyline of the episode. Is in an episode about school shooting, it's about cheating off each other on the test, and it comes back to just Token being black and not liking or not seeing Black Panther, and Cartman's like, he can't believe that a black person didn't see Black Panther. All the while, there's like a kid shooting up a fucking school in the background. But there's at one point the SWAT team comes in to deal with them or deal with the school shooter, and Mackie's like, "Oh, he's in the cafeteria. Go get him." And then you just hear like gunshots. You just hear Mackie go, "Oh, you shot the wrong one." Holy fuck!
Fucking what? How did they get away with that? Surely somebody. I mean, if it was in
don't
Britain, Ofcom would be getting bombarded with complaints.
Yeah. They go for it, and the first actual instant of the school shooting is that there is like they're doing fractional equations. So they're like, oh, what happens if you add this? What happens if you have like, how do you add together these fractions? How do you multiply fractions together? And there's like a school shooting, and like the class just goes on, and you're like, that's the point of the episode. It is not that the school shootings are bad; it's the fact that nobody reacts to it anymore, and that's Stan's mum's arc in the episode. Is her like freaking out, but she's the last person freaking out about school shootings. Everyone's like, oh, it's because the play park's a mess. You're like, that's not the reason somebody unloads an AR-15 in a school, that the play park's a mess. And she's running and freaking out about it, but eventually you watch her arc in the story is to basically just give up. And you're like, that's horrifying.
Yeah, that's
dark.
That's pretty dark, even for Southpark, who's always been known for pushing the envelope and, making people think about shit.
Consider the envelope ripped the fuck open.
Yeah, the envelope has been burst.
Yeah. And I'll be very interested to see, because now Southpark follows a larger narrative structure. Like the whole season builds towards the final points, taking stuff from different episodes as it goes. Is the school shooting thing gonna be a continuing thread throughout the show?
Oh, that'd be interesting to see.
I think they could have it pop back up again.
Maybe.
I wouldn't be surprised. But at the same time, I was watching it going, wow, we're going for it this time.
They're just going balls deep. Funny that you mentioned Black Panther there.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that Black Panther essentially copies another very popular animal-based movie?
Are we talking Lion King?
Yeah, Black Panther is fucking Lion King.
That's Cartman's joke of, like, he criticizes Black Panther. He didn't enjoy it. But he's like, oh, people will think I'm racist because I don't like Black Panther, even though it's just the Lion King. Yeah, and you're like, I didn't think about it that much, but yeah, now you talk about like I'm going to spoil Black Panther here. Obviously the dad dying, and then he has chats with his dead dad. Yeah, and I'm like,
in some kind of astral plane.
Yeah, that happens in like okay, I can see it.
And he's killed by his cousin or something, half cousin.
Yeah, it's a blood relative, and it's a power struggle thing, and it's to do with being the king, and you're like. Okay, yeah,
literally just fucking Lion King.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it.
It's not going to detract anything from my enjoyment of the movie, because I'd say it's a solid 6.
Yeah,
I think Killmonger's a good villain with no motivation.
Yeah, the thing that I come down to on like a well-told or well-produced version of a traditional story, Avatar was just Blue Pocahontas. Yeah, and there was nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, except it wasn't a good movie.
It was shiny though.
It was very
shiny as fuck.
It was very, very shiny.
And it gave us Stephen Lang. The colonel, the white-haired colonel guy. Yeah. He's awesome. I love that guy.
Yeah, I've got a lot of time for Stephen Lang. Although I remember him more in Gettysburg.
Right.
He played a Confederate general in that. Very, very well. Very, very charismatic. Very, very funny for a war film.
Yeah.
Yeah, great film. That's what I remember.
Film about slavery.
It's more about the Civil War.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose the background to that.
Yeah, that's the thing that gets me. People like, Civil War wasn't about slavery; it was about states' rights. The state right to what again? Yep. Own slaves. Yeah, so. We've had people from the U.S. Army historians say, "Yep, it was about slavery.
It was fucking slavery.
It was about the civil rights or the rights of the states to own slaves because it propped up their economy. Because otherwise, they didn't have an economy. Because automation and industry and stuff." They needed to use slaves to farm that amount of land. Yep. And it's disturbing to see people like, it wasn't about that. Like, yes, it was. The fundamental mechanics, yes, it was.
Yeah, but people have got their fucking priorities reversed nowadays. I read the dumbest... a fucking mind-numbing article, and I really don't want to give it any more press, but I think I need to talk about it just so I can get your opinion on it.
I want to know, because I read 2 really dumb articles. I wasn't sure if we'd talk about it, but yeah, what's the one you've read?
I've got one, and it was an Australian feminist. Again, I'll preface this right now. I have nothing against feminism. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Equality, equity, 100% behind that. What I'm not behind is people adding extra layers to something that should be fairly simple.
Right.
This woman was arguing that changing a baby's nappy is sexual abuse because you can't ask for consent from the child. The child cannot give consent. So it is sexual abuse. Her response to this is, if you wish to get permission from the child, you ask the child, can I change your nappy, please? And if the child, through its body language, just goes, it starts waving its hands or kicking its legs, or if it starts crying, you'll get your answer. But then the interviewer, because it was a video, which if you're curious about it, just type in nappy changing sexual abuse on YouTube. Make sure you tighten those parameters. Make sure you get the right video. The interviewer says, but the child can't give any response apart from body language. And in a legal context, consent is given by the parents. So do you really need to ask for consent to change your child's nappy? Or is it just a good thing to do because you don't want your child to be sitting in fecal matter and urine? And she says, that doesn't matter. They can sit in what they want. It's their choice. We don't want to sexually abuse our children. And I just thought, how fucking dumb can you be?
I gotta say, that is not a feminist. That is a fucking lunatic.
No, she puts herself forward as a feminist.
Yeah, but like at the same, like that is not a feminist issue.
Yeah,
that is a weird perspective.
I want to get on the news type perspective.
I'm gonna jump through several things I don't entirely understand to explain my point against this, but changing someone's nappy when they're a child because they cannot do it themselves is essentially medical help.
Yeah.
Okay, you are preventing infection by removing, the urine and feces.
Yeah.
Those will cause infection.
Yeah,
you are helping someone who is physically incapable of helping themselves, and if you do first aid, there is assumed consent.
Yeah.
If I come across you and you're passed the fuck out in the woods, and you can't consent to anything I have to do to help get you out of the woods and stabilize you and give you treatment because I found you passed out in the woods, I have assumed consent.
Yeah.
That I can do what I need to do to help you.
Yeah.
Surely the same thing applies. Like this, this just stops happening. This just is not a thing we're discussing.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
I'm a law student. I don't like talking about university all the time because I realised in other episodes I do talk about it a bit too much. But I read into consent. Consent is always has to be given. Always has to be either written or implied, or written or expressed. Consent can't really be implied.
Yeah.
But in life or death situations, consent gets thrown out the window.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Or if in situations where the person is in too much pain because of an injury to give consent, you have assumed consent.
Yeah.
It's only when the person is blind drunk that no consent can be given.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, to the woman who reset my shoulder after I popped it out during a game of rugby and I was in too much pain to give her a definite answer about anything.
Yeah.
You didn't have consent. You sexually abused me by popping my shoulder back. And
I just that is such a. Who wrote? I don't care.
It's dumb.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
really,
sorry,
really
but
dumb.
You're intervening to help someone with a medical need. You have assumed consent. I'm sorry.
It's not even that. It's that you, or me as a male and a female of my fancy, wife, girlfriend, or someone that I've agreed, we'll have a baby with. We've agreed to raise this child. Surely we don't need to jump through any more loopholes to be able to change the baby's nappy. Surely we don't need to go and consent because,
this is some lunatic idea that somebody's thrown out there to, you're just raising and helping the kid. I know, I was thinking you were going to talk about the fat acceptance article. Don't know if you saw this one.
Fat acceptance article? No,
everything you know about fat people is wrong.
Why is it wrong?
I don't know. Some idiot thinks so. It's wrong. The article itself is just... the first thing they say is everything you know about fat people is wrong. And the key quote that comes out at the top is, all the people I interviewed about this broke down in tears. I was
Okay.
like, well, first of all, the first thing I was actually told about fat people is that they're more emotionally unstable than everyone else. So the first thing I knew about fat people was right. So your article's wrong. But it was a weird article going through body shaming and saying that that has a greater impact on fat people's lives than being fat. I don't know where they got this idea from.
Okay.
But the idea is that the amount of stress caused by people saying, you could lose some weight. The idea that being constantly told that stresses you out.
Yeah.
And the idea that you can be overweight and be metabolically healthy. No.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of flawed pseudoscience to make people stop bullying fat people, to make them skinnier. I did throw up air quotes there for bullying. But I handed this over to someone who is a PhD research scientist that I know she's studying for a PhD, and we just decided to tear the article apart. And we came up with all this weird stuff, and stuff that they admitted to. The person who wrote the article has been on Twitter banging the drum for their article and the cause and fat acceptance and stuff. But during one of their tweets, they pointed out the fact that you can be metabolically healthy and overweight. That is a thing that she has basically made up. She said that there was a 60 to 70% of people who are overweight are metabolically healthy. She conjured that number by taking various different descriptions of metabolically healthy and then just ramming the numbers together to come up with 60 to 70%.
Surely if you're metabolically healthy, that means your metabolism is operating at such efficiency that your fat stores are getting burned through at a correct rate.
Yeah.
They're not being stored away, which is what leads to obesity.
Yeah.
You cannot be metabolically healthy and overweight. The two of those things don't meet up. One's the antithesis of the other.
Yeah. There is a part of the article I do agree with, though. She says that the problem is systemic. And I'm like, yes, there's systemic obesity in the West.
Yeah.
And it's to do with food supply. Our food supply is garbage.
Yeah.
There's too much crap
food
in the food.
Yeah.
And that's the only part of it I would agree with. But even then, she's looking at more of the social impact of shaming fat people. And I'm like, there's like a reason that, people feel shame. And when it comes to obesity, being ashamed of looking fat is what motivates me to lose weight.
Yeah. I mean, it's what made me lose weight originally, because I'm now sitting at 15, maybe 14.5 to 15 stone. I'm not comfortable with that weight. I want to get that down. But at my heaviest was 21 stone.
Yeah.
I hit that peak and I thought, no, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
My knees hurt, my back hurts, my clothes don't fit right. I need to start losing weight. I just hit a certain point. And for me anyway, if people are comfortable being that shape, they think this is the best version of me. Fair enough. You have more body confidence than I have.
Yeah.
I'm a walking carpet. I cannot take my t-shirt off anywhere.
Yeah.
I like to keep myself covered up, and that's even if I did have the quote unquote perfect body, that kind of perfect muscled body. I just don't think people should really be comfortable being that weight, because you're opening yourself up to health problems.
Yeah. And
More power to you if you are, but it's just I'm not trying to say I'm looking out for you, because that's self-imposition. I'm on your side, but it boils my brain.
If you're 400 pounds, that is
400
I
pounds.
did math. You're about 180 plus kilos. 180 plus kilos. I will put this out there. I have been 30 stone before.
Yeah, it's not pleasant.
It's horrific. You feel like shit.
Yeah, walking down the stairs, you're just sweating bullets.
Yeah, and I'm framed as a big guy. I have I'm 6 foot tall and I'm broad at the shoulders and I carry a lot of weight and I do okay with it.
Yeah.
But when you hit 30 stone, you are horrific. You are absolutely a fucking mess and you do not function like a human being. You need to lose that weight.
Yeah.
And so when you have people who are that heavy, it's like how
Yeah.
I'm just stuck with that how, and it doesn't make sense that you would allow yourself to get to that size. But people taking away the shame, I don't think is going to fix the problem.
Yeah, I think from a standpoint of where people trying to be more positive, you're not trying to be shitty towards one another. Yeah, taking away shame is going to help them. If you're in a positive environment and you say, look, if you're comfortable being big, fine.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're gonna feel so much better if you just drop a couple of stone. You're gonna feel so much lighter. You're gonna feel just happier. Trust me. The best way to lose weight, or the best way to feel good about losing weight, is just keep working out, because you release the endorphins, releasing adrenaline. You're gonna feel great about yourself.
Yeah.
But if you're sitting at, say, like 25 stone, you don't really want to move because your knees hurt too much, or your back hurts, or you just want to get stuff delivered to you because you don't want to go out. You're going to feel horrible.
Yeah.
And again, I go back to it because I'm always keen to cover my ground with this. If you're comfortable doing that, okay, just rest easy in the confidence that you shouldn't be ashamed, but at the same time, there should be something going on in your head thinking,
you should be able to shame yourself.
Yeah, you should be. If you're comfortable doing that, that in and of itself is a problem. You should think, there's a problem here. This is not healthy.
At that point, I think you're wallowing.
Yeah.
At this,
I think there's something that you're substituting with food.
Yeah, there's something bigger going on, and yes, the obesity is a symptom. However, it's a symptom that is its own disease, and a disease that gets complicated fast.
It gets complicated,
especially the older
fast.
you get.
And see, in Scotland, there's this campaign going about right now from the Cancer Research Trust, or is it just Cancer Research? I can't remember. With the charity Cancer Research, they have all these billboards kicking about the place, particularly through in Edinburgh, because that's basically the only place I've been in the past couple of months, with the exception of Glasgow, but I didn't really see it. It's saying it's obesity, but some of the words are taken out. It's just saying this leads to cancer. Surely that's got to be enough of a wake-up call, saying if I stay this weight, I'm basically an open door to cancer.
Yeah, you're gonna be more complicated as a person. You'll be your body will be different, and will have the issues that you might not encounter if you were reasonably. I mean, just overweight. Go from obese to overweight. You'll feel the difference.
Because I think right now I'm classed as overweight by about 3 stone.
I think I've always been classed as morbidly obese because of my size.
Yeah, but you've always been.
But I'm heavy framed. I'm 6 foot and broad,
and you've always been working out.
Yeah.
Because
I'm always carrying. I've been under 100 kilos for one day since I was 18.
I think I'm sitting at about 95 kilos or something. I might be sitting at just over 100, maybe 101, 105, but not much over that. But you've always done sort of bodybuilder type workouts. Yeah. You've never really done something to try and get lighter.
I push mass onto myself.
Yeah, you build mass, whereas when I do workout, it's more shit that will make me play rugby better.
Yeah.
Because someone pointed out to me, I've got maybe 8 or 9 good years of playing rugby left in me.
Yeah.
I'm determined to make a good fucking go of it, so I want to tone my body down.
Yeah. Contact sports take a toll on the body.
And I've been told that weight-wise I'm fine. I just need to build on it and build mass. Or build muscle.
But there's a point where you are not a healthy person.
Yeah.
And it is the people that have an entire person's worth of fat hanging off their frame. And you're like, you are in trouble. And we can be as body positive as we want to be, but we need to kind of constrain it and normalize the weight down and the body mass and the body types into a healthy spectrum, and saying that people who are fat are healthy is not right.
It's something that doesn't sit right with me. And again, probably should try and cover our bases a bit, saying if there's a mental health issue there and you're substituting, you're bottling your feelings, you're just eating on top of it, you're depressive eating, or you're panic eating, or you're stress eating, it can be an algorithm for that. And in that case, losing weight can be extremely hard, and I completely sympathise on that respect. But if you're just staying at that weight because it's too difficult to go out and work, if you're a fully functioning human being and you're overweight, and you're just thinking, I'm comfortable being this way, it's cool to be big now. Nah, there's something clearly going wrong up in your synapses, because that isn't. I don't know how anyone can.
It's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable. It just leads to more health problems in the long run.
Yeah, I thought that was the one you were going to talk about. There was another one that was the dumb article of there's been this thing. We're fans of Joe Rogan, so we all have heard of the intellectual dark web. It's now being referred to by a bunch of other names, and it's to do with the reactionary right. And there's been an article published basically showing through very flawed methodology that you can tie all of these people to Nazis, and you're like, so. And it's a very, from what I've not read the article itself, and I'm gonna, because it's interesting me. Like, I'm like, how did you get to this conclusion of like, because they've talked to a Nazi, they're now all Nazis. They're all just as bad.
Yeah, but you can't pick on Nazis anymore. Nazis are a recognised group in their own right.
But it's I was
It's a
reading
hate
it.
group, but apparently they have rights and fucking whatever dumb shit
Yeah.
President Trump pulls at his arse.
The idea being that because these people are all connected, that there is a sphere of influence being developed by these people who are using these tactics to gain influence, and that these people are the devil incarnate and will be influencing the politics of the West for years. And I'm just looking at it going, you're saying that just because somebody who disagrees with you can use, YouTube tactics and ways of building communities and to have conversations with people you don't agree with, that makes them the devil? That's just, they're good at business.
Yeah.
They're good at this influencing thing, but because they're spreading ideas you think are wrong, that makes them evil. I kind of like...
Doesn't that directly contravene with the American Constitution, right to free speech and all that shit?
Free speech is against government.
Ah, right, yeah.
Free speech, this thing that bugs me, like with the Alex Jones thing, and actually people who follow Alex Jones are actually quite alright with what's happened.
Yeah, but Alex Jones is a character.
No, but like the whole thing of the idea that he got shut down because he got shut down by private companies.
Yeah.
That's fine for the US Constitution. It's not great for Alex Jones as an individual, and people are worried that sets precedent within these companies to do the same.
Yeah.
But nothing has been done to impeach his First Amendment because the government hasn't been involved.
All right.
That's where because it's freedom of speech against the government. The government cannot come in and say, you can't say that. In the US, that's the key thing that fucks over a lot of people when it comes to these conversations. You go, but freedom of speech, nothing's happened. The government hasn't gotten involved.
Yeah.
You don't get to argue that defense when a private company, because the thing is when you post on these things, you are creating a relationship with that company, and you're having an agreement, and they don't have to tolerate your shit. So they can just go, you're done, bye.
Yeah.
We're severing this relationship with you. We no longer want association with you. You're done. Bye. Leave.
It does kind of sound to me as if it's someone else has had a dissenting opinion to someone else and just be like, oh, this guy's linked to Nazis. Everyone knows it.
Yeah.
The guy's an arsehole.
But I'm going to read it. I'm going to come back next week.
Yeah.
We're going to, I think we'll maybe have a bit of a chat about it, and we'll see what they've done, because apparently the methodology is really flawed. The fact that they literally just said, here's like 20 people we found that we don't like, and look how they're all connected, and they just sit and draw lines between them and say that's scientific proof that
I'm going to hazard a guess and say that these connections that they've made are very tenuous at best.
It is literally this person appeared on this person's podcast, or this person appeared on this show, or they've been seen together, or they've written stuff together, or they've shared thoughts and they've hashed out ideas. But it's a way of basically trying to tarnish more people, and a lot of people don't like it.
Yeah,
a lot of people who should be supporting it, and people who they're saying, "How is this being reported?" You actually haven't seen it appear in the mainstream news. It's just been this thing that someone went, "Look at this outrageous thing we found," and it's obviously designed to get that reaction.
Yeah.
But everyone who looks at it goes, "This is garbage. What are you doing?
This is trash.
You've done something that's wrong, and you're trying to pass it off as just being great journalism or whatever." And I'm gonna read it. I'm curious now. Like, I had my interest peaked a couple of days ago, and I was like, I'll get around to reading it. And I meant to do it for today, but got busy. Oh. So I was like, I'll go around. I'll find this. I'm gonna find this article and just go read through this paper that someone's published on the spreading cult of wrong ideas. Because I'm like, really, we're getting to the point of just saying, no, your ideas are wrong. You're bad people. Like, we can't just hash it out with these.
No,
we can't talk to the wrong people.
I'm more of the stance that you can't just say it. Just we have wildly different opinions on TV shows.
Yeah,
I can't say you don't like Gundam Wing. You're wrong.
But I'm so right.
You don't like Gundam Wing. We talk about it constantly. I like it. You don't, and that's fine.
Hash out the ideas.
Talk about it. Tell me why you don't like it, and I'll tell you why I do like it. You like. I think we're fairly. I was going to say that's a fairly poor argument because we do trade Blu-rays and DVDs about quite a bit.
Yeah.
We'd have fairly similar tastes, but I think that's probably because we've known each other since we were 5.
Yeah, but there's stuff that I'll watch that you won't watch. Let's go for an anime example, because there's a show that I'm surprised that I watched, but I know you would never.
Oh, Attack on Titan. You love Attack on Titan. I don't like it.
I'm going worse than that.
Oh,
I'm going horrifically offensive. I am going to talk about Eromanga Sensei. This is a story about a young guy who writes like kind of trashy light novels.
Okay.
He decides he wants to write an a purely erotic one about a guy who wants to fuck his younger sister.
Okay, that's horrible.
He
That's
also
illegal in this
discovers,
country.
yeah. Well, there's the joke of anime characters from light novels who want to fuck their sisters. It has to include the phrase "not related by blood," like it's a stepsister.
Okay.
They always throw in that little line. You're like, this. It doesn't make
Always
it better.
as a disclaimer, they just say not related
Yeah, it's
by
like a
blood.
little asterisk, not related by blood, but the little that asterisk, not related by blood, is a meme now in the anime community.
Yeah.
Because it's just horrifying. Like, just, if you have a close personal relationship that's like familial, even if they're not related, like, don't fuck that person.
Yeah.
That's just weird. But you have, he then discovers that he has an artist that has been doing the covers for his light novels, because he gets them published, even though he's 15. He gets them published, and
Well, if you're getting your shit published at 15, you're doing something right.
you're getting paid. Light
Yeah.
novels are like pulp novels. It used to be like, remember, you know what pulp novels are? Like the old detective noir stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's just cheap trash. It's
Yeah.
not an actual book. It's like, it's cheap trash.
Yeah.
So that's the light novel idea. But he has
The summer novels, as they used to get called.
Yeah.
Shit that you would read on holiday, but you would never admit to owning.
Yeah. But his artist draws like great erotic covers for his books, and he's
Okay.
like, people are like, that's the only reason to buy your books is because the covers are good. His writing's trash, but he's writing trashy novels.
Yeah.
Turns out that artist is his younger sister.
Okay.
So he's
So in the ultimate...
17 or something like that.
Right.
She is 13. And he starts to develop a crush on
Stop.
his younger sister. Yeah.
Enough.
Yep. See what I mean? You won't watch that show.
I can see
I'll sit down and I watched all of it.
I
It
can
was
see why
fucking
you-
horrifying.
you'd think I wouldn't like that. But yeah, no. Stop.
Utter trash. And
If
it's
the police are kicking the door down right now.
Yeah.
CID are coming in right now.
it's the sound of the police, and it fucking deserves to be shut down because it's trash. But it's weird that, like, the idea that you don't want to talk about that, but I feel like if we had to sit and talk about it out, and we had to talk it out and just watch
Yeah.
the whole fucking thing, I think you should be allowed to do that and have
Yeah.
that discourse about a fucking horrific thing.
Yeah, definitely. You
Just
should
because
always-
you disagree with me on it doesn't mean like you're not gonna go leave right now and be like, this person does this, this, and this. You're not gonna go and tweet a fucking bunch of
Yeah.
bullshit.
I'm not
because
gonna.
it's
I'm not gonna go immediately onto my Twitter and say,
at Dom Anderson _20 or Dom _Anderson 25.
Dom Anderson -25.
There's some weird combination of shit in there.
I didn't even
have
make it.
I have to look at it every time I like when I do show notes. I have to go find your Twitter. Be like, what is it? It's fucking brilliant.
I would never go on Twitter and say at Iron Lord the Mad condones having sex with a 13-year-old stepsister. He's
Yeah.
weird. Don't listen to this guy. I'd never do that. It's just like Colin Graham watches some weird anime.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about it in Gibberpish.
Because it's good promotion.
It's good. I'm always a fan of. Right, you've got two people with dissenting
Yeah.
views. It's the whole idea behind the field that I want to go into.
Is that you disagree, you
You
hash it
disagree,
out,
And you
find
talk
the
about
answer.
it and you find out what the proper answer is or what the proper action is going forward.
Yeah.
It's fascinating to me on both sides that people do want to talk about this now and people don't want to talk about it because both sides are automatically wrong and demonizing each other. It's a very, very dangerous and scary thing
Yeah.
to think that this is going to be how we discuss shit in the future.
And it's like the example I'm giving is I watched a shitty anime show.
Yeah.
The example that or where this is being used is the legitimate conversations about how we run society are being told, or we're saying we just can't have these conversations anymore. And it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't like I don't like what I've heard about this article. I'm gonna read it all the way through. I'm gonna read that paper, even though I'm not anything to do with like social construct or whatever. I'm not
Yeah.
one of these social scientists. I'm gonna investigate it. I'm gonna figure out what the hell's going on, and hopefully next week on Gibberpish I'll be
Yeah.
able to explain it. I
Hopefully.
probably won't, but I'll give it a go.
I hope you don't mind. If we were going to wrap up the show there, I'm going to hopefully end on a cheerier note.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause that was pretty depressing. This week saw the last two characters for Dragon Ball Fighters to be announced.
Mm-hmm.
It started off with Zamasu. No, sorry. It started off with Bardock and Broly. Good
Right.
characters. Bardock kind of breaks the game with how good he is.
Right.
He has ridiculous amount of in-air movements. He can move 8 times in the air before hitting the ground, which in a fighting game all about
That's
air.
juggling, yeah.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Broly, you'd think he'd be a good sort of big bruiser character with hyper armor on all of his moves. You know, he'd be able to move through a Kamehameha or something like
Yeah.
he does in the fucking movies. But no, he's kind of crap. Then from that, we went on to Fused Zamasu and Vegito Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Really good characters. Had a lot of fun with Vegito Blue because he's fucking bonkers. some of the shit that he can do, and he has a full screen sword thing. You
Yeah.
remember in Dragon Ball Super when he stabs Zamasu in the chest?
Yeah.
He gets a super version of that, except it's a full screen chop,
Shit.
and he can drop that in anywhere. He
It's
can
not like a super movie. Doesn't have to build to it.
Yeah,
It's,
no,
it
it's
can
a super move, but
oh.
it can be cancelled from any one of his moves.
Oh.
And Zamasu, like, again, was just another fucking strange yet awesome character to play. He had a flight mechanic, so he could pop a button and he could just float around the screen.
Right.
And you could also build up little key attacks that you could have charged over your head and just fire them in the air. He was, again, another really good, really hyper utility character, which is the calling card of a really, really good long-standing character in fighters.
Yeah.
How good they are and how well they fit into each team. Then after Zamasu and Vegeta Blue, we had base Goku and base Vegeta,
Yeah.
which they're really good characters, but the Kaioken gimmick for Goku boggles my mind. I cannot get it right, because it's all to do with multiple button pushes. You'll pop the super, and you'll shout Kaioken times 20 or Kaioken times 50, depending on how many characters you've lost.
Yeah.
If you lose one character, it's Kaioken times 20. You lose both characters, and you've just got base Goku left. It's Kaioken times 50. You'll do the initial attack when you'll run forward and punch, but you can push additional buttons to make the combo last a bit longer.
Right.
I don't know how to use it at all, so I just stick with base Vegeta. He's a lot easier to use.
Yeah.
And of course, Vegeta fan. But the last two characters to get announced were Cooler,
Right.
who
He's not been around for a while, but
it's good to have him back. And
Yeah.
we have the Dragon Ball Super variant of Android 17, who again is just another fucking insane, fun to use character.
he's got to be fast, right?
He's ridiculously fast. He has another combo like base Goku where he does an initial hit, then you can follow it up with additional button presses.
Mm-hmm.
He can then cancel that and do this weird wall bounce move where he jumps to the opposite side of the screen and he can dive back in. And he can either do a key blast mid-air, or he can do a super mid-air, or he can just continue the combo again. So if
Yeah.
you get fluent with that, you can basically just have him doing this weird, awesome bounce combo all over the screen. And it's just, I didn't think they would go that unique with Android 17, given what he does when Android 16 uses him. Because Android 16, he'll bring in 17 out for a couple of moves mid-combo or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you think based on that there wouldn't be much in it. But now he's got his really, really unique moveset. And he's quite a lot of fun to play. Cooler, on the other hand, he's got more armor on some of his moves, but his combo structures just suck dick. You can't really set him up into much, but I'm slowly learning what Cooler can be used for. And I'm having a lot of fun playing that game.
Well, that's the thing with Cooler is he's not a major character in the Dragon Ball series. He got 2 movies, and the movies are now non-canon, so it was just a case of he shows up, he's just slightly darker he's slightly darker Freezer, and then he shows up and he's got a bigger form, and then he's a mecha form.
Yeah, then he can replicate himself 100 times.
Yeah, and they kick all of Vegeta in the dick.
Yeah. Why do they keep kicking me in the dick?
God damn it, Team 4-Star, you glorious bastards.
Yeah, you champions of humanity.
I was gonna, if we're gonna wrap up the show, I'll quickly try it. We've decided on this thing where
I think I'm going to make that a new segment now called "Here Comes a New Challenger." New fighting game characters that get added each week because Smash Bros comes out soon. We're going to have a fuck ton of new characters to talk about.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
know we said we're trying to steer away from segments, but yeah, I want that one in.
New challenger, but I like it.
Just so I can play the soundbite from Street Fighter 2 that says, "Here comes a new challenger."
The one I would do is I like the idea of us breaking the show. Like we get to the point where it's like, okay, we now have a story that's so weird it just doesn't make sense. So Dom and I are in our mid to late 20s.
That is a fucking scary thought.
Yeah. And,
you're already 27, right?
Yeah.
I turned 27 in
December.
November.
Oh, November. Oh, yeah, you're in November.
Yeah, 25th of November. Yeah.
So basically we're okay actually. Like financially we're not that bad. We're not like horrifically in debt.
No, I'm not in debt yet.
Yeah.
Student loans are going to kick in about 3 years' time, and I'm just going to
one of those days you're going to have to leave university.
Yeah, one of those days I'm going to have to work.
But we were raised in houses where we're just told be careful with your money.
Yeah.
Don't get too far into debt. Don't take out credit cards, loans, and stuff unless you know you can pay for them.
Yeah.
And pay them off as soon as you can to avoid paying too much.
Yeah.
That was always just something that was drilled into my head. Just the family finances were very well organized, and we were told you do the same, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And it's worked out so far.
The student loans actually kind of worked out. It's a bit of a double-edged sword for me because one, if I go too far with it, I'm going to be heavily in debt. But at the same time, if I get a good job, I can pay it off, and I can get a good credit rating at the same time. So when it comes mortgage time, it's going to hopefully set me up nice and comfy.
but not everyone is as logical as us. There is I'm vaguely interested in finance. I quite like the studying the mechanisms behind it all. Like
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious. But I found this channel called the Dave Ramsey Show.
The
Now,
Dave Ramsey Show.
This guy is a mid-50s, 60s business guy who has done all right for himself and now helps others with financial advice. And he runs a like an investment group or whatever in Tennessee.
Mhm.
And he is very simple spoken. Like, I'm gonna give you advice. This is gonna hurt, but it's gonna help.
Yeah.
So I watched an episode of his where he's got YouTube videos up, and he does a talk show that you can call in and he'll give you advice over the phone. One of the episodes, it was a very clickbaity title of "I'm $1 million in debt." I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, it's clickbait, but I'm gonna watch it, and I actually quite enjoyed the episode. Like, Dave Ramsey actually seems like quite a fun, entertaining person to watch. Very, very American, very South, and I like it. It's no nonsense.
Mm.
Quite an enjoyable watch. I discovered he's actually very Christy as well, which is weird. It's like the most important thing about this is that you're gonna have to pray on this. And I'm like, wait, what? Who? What?
Hold the phone.
What does Jesus have to do with money?
I did not sign up to this show for Jesus overtones.
So I was like, okay, let's ignore the Jesus overtones and we'll get to what he's talking about. And the clickbait is that she's actually about $800,000 in debt. So there's $200,000 gone already. But yeah, he is. But they're like the woman on the phone is saying that she got married a couple months ago. So congratulations. And yeah, but my husband and I said we're going to sit down and deal with our finances. I'm like, well, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
You should always just be aware of your finances in general.
Yeah.
But she said, yeah, we're getting worried that we're going to hit that $1 million in debt. I said, well, how far are you? $800,000 in debt.
How extravagant a wedding do you need to have before you think?
I actually didn't realize he doesn't bring up the wedding. I'm like, how much? Like, if you're
That's
in debt,
what's in my head, thinking that maybe the wedding cost them $800,000, and that's what's got them in debt.
Yeah, but he asks.
Otherwise, you've got to do a phenomenal amount of fucking spending.
Yeah, and he starts breaking down. He says, look, let's start breaking down debt. How much? You got a house? Yeah, we're paying it off on a mortgage. House is valued at about 300,000. We are the mortgage is 210k. So okay, that's an investment. That's a house. That's somewhere for you to live. That won't be included in our conversation about your debt. So don't worry about it. Just make sure you keep paying that mortgage. That's important. You will lose the house, and then you're really up shit creek because you have nothing to show for the work you're going to be doing. But this is gonna fucking hurt. Like, you have $600,000 in debt. You need to explain right now. And they go on, well, we both have advanced degrees for education, so it's like a master's, so I guess it's like a 5-year education. That totals out to about 150,000. We have 2 cars. They are going to be also about 150,000 between them. I'm like, holy shit. What are you buying? Why are you rolling up to work in a Lexus? He's like, what's your degree in? Because obviously, like, if you have a degree in fine art and you're several $100,000 in debt, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Get ready to be asking people, do you want fines with that? You have they don't explain what his degree is, but she has a degree in policy. So it's like government, like policy writing and stuff, like laws and how to structure and write laws and stuff like that, so that they work. And she said, well, I actually want to work in the government, and I've got my foot in the door. We're in DC, and we're part of the government, so we're getting paid, and their paychecks are $200,000 a year between the two of them.
Right.
And
Very
it's
good.
like, you guys are living 4 times your entire paycheck.
Yeah.
So realistic, when you take it, like your mortgage, your needs, your fuel, your food stuff, you're living 10 times roughly what you earn. You are in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, he immediately starts going, sell the cars, get cheaper cars, get fuel efficient cars, get like this, get a second job, do like stuff. You need to get working on this now.
Yeah, you need to get your feet clear.
But he's like, but you're still about 300,000. Explain that debt. And it's like, well, part of it student debts and stuff like that. It's mostly credit card debts.
Fuck's sake.
150 grand each. Credit card debts. Who the fuck keeps giving them credit cards?
Yeah.
And
Who keeps approving them for these credit cards? Because as far as I'm aware, you need to petition the credit card company
You
They
get
do a back-
investigated.
Yeah, they do a background check on you to see how fiscally responsible you are. Then they say, all right, cool, you seem pretty sound, so we're going to give you a credit card at this rate.
Yeah.
And go forward from there. That was genuinely kind of scared me a little bit.
It's worrying. It's like you're 29 and this is you sitting down and thinking about finances now.
Yeah.
But the part that broke me, and the part that I hope breaks the show, is him saying, because he obviously is like, I don't understand how the guy did it. How does a guy get up 150k debt on credit cards?
Before you launch into this, I'd just like to preface this saying Colin has got his phone out to read the exact quote. This should be an indication of how fucking bad this is going to be.
How does a guy rack up 150k debt in 29 years? At this point, the girl on the phone says, well, he's 32. I'm like, you can see Dave Ramsey's eyes pop open as he's like, that is not the fucking point. Lady, you are 29 with almost $1 million in debt. At that point, I was like, I'm fucking done. How do you... Oh, I'm still stuck in it. This has been me for like 48 hours.
Yeah,
I've just been there sitting there thinking, how? And there's no answer.
Yeah. The only answer I can literally come even remotely close to is that person must have thought, right, I want all these extravagancies, I want all these luxuries, and I don't care how I get them. I'm going to go so far into debt to provide the nice things that me and my, is it wife?
Husband? It's the wife phoning into the
so
show.
me and my husband can get. I'm going to try my damnedest to make sure we get everything. I don't care what the result is.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only way. If you just throw caution and all other, warning lights to the wind and just think, fuck it, I'm doing this, regardless of what anyone else says.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way you could get almost $1 million into debt. Because I think the furthest into debt I've ever been is £300.
Yeah.
And even at that, I was thinking, this is too much. I've fucked up somewhere. I bought something that I shouldn't have. I've done something that I shouldn't have. And that terrified me. I could not imagine being fucking $1 million.
How do you sleep?
Exactly. I'd be up all night.
See, the thing is, like,
I'm a light sleeper at the best of times. If I was $1 million in debt, I would never sleep again.
I'd be up all night finding new jobs to pay off the debt. I couldn't. I've been thinking about this, and the problem is that every time I think about it, my brain just stops.
Yeah.
I literally cannot construct the pathways of decisions that lead you to say, so I'm about $1 million in debt.
I mean, when I finish all my studies and get all that shit wrapped, done and dusted, I'm going to be...
Math is happening, ladies and gentlemen.
£40,000 in debt. Maybe £41,000 in debt.
And that's a student debt.
That's a student debt. I'm very much prepared to pay it off because it's I think it's my price that I need to pay for having delayed it for this long. If I'd done it when I was younger, I think I'd have just bailed out.
Yeah.
But now that I'm a bit older, a bit more mature, I'm thinking, right, I can definitely headbutt my way through this because as Colin knows, I was a bit of a fuck up back in high school. I just kind of screwed around, didn't really pay attention. So the fact that I decided to work for a bit, then go into education, the debt is basically my way of saying, right, this is going to keep you in check. This is going to keep you going.
Yeah.
If you came into a bit of debt when you were younger, just like, fuck it, mum and dad will take care of it. Now, this is my kind of way of being held accountable to myself. Just like, right, I'm going to keep going in this field so I can pay off that massive student loan.
Keeps you hungry.
It keeps me hungry. It keeps me moving on. Even at that, that's £41,000. That is a third of her credit card debt.
Yeah.
That's not even that's just under a third of her credit card debt. And this is me doing education for 7 years.
Yeah.
So 3 years of college, 4 years of uni. £41,000, and I can account for every pound and pence of that.
Yeah, and that's an investment.
That's an investment
that will pay off.
I'm willing to put in I'm willing to put in the hours to pay off because I've always had a fairly good work ethic. If there's something that needs done, I will do it. If I might be a bit tired the day after because I've worked so hard to do it, that's fine. That's basically me getting my reward. I get to sleep in.
Yeah.
Or I get to rest for that next again day. Obviously, my main focus right now is university, but if I was working...
There's a van backing up outside.
Oh, right. I thought it was a pigeon or something. But
I assumed it was 20 crickets humping at first when I heard it. But it's a council van, so it's to have a noise maker.
All right. What was this?
Can't run over those kids, apparently.
Nah, you need to let them know you.
Kids have got to survive.
What the hell was I just saying?
You were talking about the work ethic and...
the work ethic. If I had a job, right, if a job was my main focus, you guarantee I'd be putting in a severe amount of hours and hopefully reaping the rewards of that. I like to think that I put myself out there when I do a job. But just to cut corners like that and just I'm going to get credit card, just burn my way through that. I'd get a credit card if I was severely slammed. I think, right, I need to get money quickly, otherwise the roof on my house is going to collapse, or I'm not going to be able to feed my family.
Yeah,
that's the only way in severe emergencies.
Yeah,
that I would consider getting anywhere even remotely close to getting in debt again.
But yeah, I mean, I can't figure out how these people have done this. If you can and you'd like to get in contact with us, tweet us at Gibberpish on Twitter, or send us an email. Please don't try and break down your own debts. We can't help you with that. No. Clearly, we can't figure out anything. Yeah. But if you can email us at gibberpishpodcast@gmail.com, we will hopefully hear back from you. If you're liking this show, please remember to rate it and recommend it to people. Share it around.
Even if you don't like the show and you want to talk to us about something, shoot us a message on Twitter, send us an email. We'll gladly talk about it on the show. Be more than happy to do that. Hopefully we get some nice feedback. If not,
feedback. We can learn from it. Hopefully as well, the new audio sounds good and you enjoy the new crisp microphones. Yeah. With the totally professional setup that we have here, that means we can bump the table as much as we want. It won't do shit.
Because over the course of this,
just did it.
Over the course of this 2 hour and 41 minute recording, we have bumped the table several times.
But yeah, after that, we've been talking Gibberpish.
Yep.